pay off, investors lose their money. That's how capitalism works.
Regulators closed California-based Silicon Valley Bank on Friday after it experienced a traditional bank run where depositors rushed to withdraw their funds all at once. Then New York-based Signature Bank also failed over the weekend. The Biden administration today approving an $8 billion oil project in northern Alaska. Approval of the so-called Willow project is expected to include plans to block or prevent drilling in 16 million acres in Alaska and the Arctic Ocean. Critics say the drilling project will harm the environment. The supporters say it will provide jobs, tax income, and help the country become more energy independent. The Pentagon is requesting a record $842 billion in its budget request.
Defense Department Deputy Secretary Dr. Kathleen Hicks says the budget will address challenges and threats like China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, terrorist organizations, climate change, and biological threats.
Our goal is to deter because competition does not mean conflict. Still, we must have the combat credibility to win if we must fight.
Many Republicans have called for cuts to federal spending, though some have been more open to keeping or increasing spending when it comes to defense.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz at the White House. A volatile day on Wall Street amid the two bank failures, but stock indexes ending the day mixed. The Dow down 90 points, the S&P falling 5, with the NASDAQ up 49. America's listening to Fox News.
It's March Madness month on GTA. That means we get an awesome giveaway. Come into GTA today and get the all-new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra with a 200-megapixel camera and advanced nighttography. Your selfies will look amazing day or night. Purchase a Samsung Galaxy S23 series smartphone and get on our best unlimited plan for as low as $65 a month. Plus get a free $200 Payless gift card when you open a new line. Terms and conditions apply. Offer good while supplies last. Smartphone month at GTA. We start with you.
The new Subway series includes one of the most craveable sandwiches of them all, the Subway Club.
Number 12, the Turkey Cali Club is the best with avocado, turkey, and bacon.
The best should come with bacon, turkey, and ham. That's my number 10, the All-American Club.
Number 11, the Subway Club is a proven classic that comes with ham too, plus turkey and Angus roast beef.
I see. Let's start over. Let's talk cheese in the Subway series.
I'm still gonna win this. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
At least 8 are dead after a boat crash off the California coast.
The crash of 2 migrant smuggling boats in shallow waters near San Diego marks one of the deadliest maritime human smuggling operations ever off U.S. shores. Officials say a Spanish-speaking woman on one of the boats called 911 on Saturday night to report the incident on Black's Beach, saying there were 15 people on the capsized boat and 8 on hers. Coast Guard and San Diego fire rescue crews pulled the bodies of 8 adults out of the water, then had to suspend the search due to fog. No additional bodies were found on Sunday. Some of the survivors may have escaped on land, including the 911 caller. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Now, major storms expected to bring some of the heaviest snowfall of the season to the nation's northeast.
The system expected to intensify. Widespread rain, the potential for snow in some areas of especially New England. That coastal flooding, definitely something to be paying attention to and prepare for. Winds are absolutely going to be a big part of the story here with those wind gusts, maybe 50, 60 miles per hour, potentially rattling the Big Apple tonight into tomorrow. And travel is really going to be a nightmare. LaGuardia Airport here, that's going to be one of the areas you really want to keep a close eye on, especially knowing all of that rain, potentially some of those several inches of snow, which could really start to accumulate tomorrow.
Fox Weather's Nicole Valdez. Last winter, most ski resorts at Lake Tahoe had to postpone their usual November openings because there wasn't enough snow. This season, several have been forced to close at times because there's been too much. A relentless winter storm has dumped more than 50 feet of snow on mountain resorts around the lake since December. The latest storm forcing several to shut down over the weekend. Locals say any disruptions are offset by the powdery snow conditions and able to ski through the end of May. I'm Rich Dennison, and this is Fox News.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Join us at Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro and see why they've been crowned Guam's best Chamorro food restaurant for 9 consecutive years. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus tenactac, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet burgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña location from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. for dinner, or 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for their famous Sunday brunch.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. At 6:06 on Tuesday, March 14. I'm Donna De Jesus with a look at your local news on The Point. 41-year-old Warren Robert Santiago Quinata has been charged with stealing a van from Weddingale Elementary School, and he told investigators he did it to keep it safe. Police responded to the school on Friday after the van owned by Sodexo Services went missing. The van was found on Aurora Street in Dededo, where a witness says Quinata had been sitting in it. A company representative says 5 insulated coolers were taken from the van and the vehicle had fresh damage, including a shattered front passenger side window. Quinata claimed to take the van in order to keep it safe, and he was going to call police but got busy. He also stated that he thought the vehicle was stolen and the ignition system was already stripped, and that he took the plastic ignition piece so no one else could steal the vehicle. Meanwhile, a suspected threat to GMH's internal network led to hospital officials to reach out to the FBI and Guam Homeland Security. Unauthorized network access was detected earlier this month, but hospital officials say no patient data was jeopardized. Although no unauthorized access was detected to patient health information or employee databases, the hospital shut down the network a couple of days after the breach was discovered as a precautionary measure. The situation resulted in visitation being suspended and phone and emails temporarily being taken offline. Committee on Health Vice Chair Senator Joanne Brown says there was no manual protocol in place to respond and continue operations at the hospital unaffected. A meeting with GMH yesterday revealed an apparent lack of hospital protocols to respond to and deal with network shutdowns. GMH officials say the system is being restored and an announcement will be made when visitation is resumed. We'll have more news after this.
Half a day. This is Jade Uggan from Security Title. And in celebration of Chamorro Month, here is a tip on dealing with your land. You might be thinking of giving part of your property to your child or another family member. Once you have subdivided the property and recorded the map, you will also need to record the deed transferring the title. Just drawing the map is not enough to make sure they actually own the land. Protehi I Tanonmu. When it comes to your family land, call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
The OPA released an audit yesterday which found that Gov Guam has missed out on around $22 million in potential tax revenue from military contractors in recent years due to deficiencies at Rev and Tax. The audit looked at income reported by and taxes collected from on-base contractors between fiscal year 2016 and 2020. But issues with available data caused by Rev and Tax's computer system have made it challenging for the OPA to accurately determine the impact of potentially uncollected revenues on military construction contracts on Gov Guam revenues. Besides the shadow business operations and tax evasion, the OPA also detected underreporting of sales and unverified tax exemptions claimed by certain contractors. Tax leakage on the military buildup has been a recurring issue for Guam. In a 2021 report, the Office of the Inspector General assessed $414 million in taxes owed to Gov Guam in 2014. Besides tourism, the military is the main source of economic fuel for Guam. The island relies on the $11 billion defense buildup to sustain the local economy. And the Dededo pool is expected to open soon. It has been closed since the pandemic due to poor water quality, but Parks and Rec Acting Director Warren Pelletier says the pool is now running perfectly and should be ready to open by this summer. He adds that the gates will remain locked until more equipment is installed by the contractor and the facility is certified by public health. The Agana pool is a different story. It, too, has been closed since the pandemic because of the water quality. Parks and Rec Deputy Director Jack Hattig says contractor Amorient Engineering is working on the design for the pool's repair and renovation, which should be 60% complete by next month. Gura announced in November of 2020 that a new 10-lane Olympic swimming pool with stadium seating for 1,000 people would be built. And those are your top stories right here on The Point. Now here's Ray with your weather.
Yeah, get around to it. So, because I want to make sure I got that headline correct. I was looking at it in the Pacific Daily News. So the Dededo Pool is running perfectly, but it's still months away from reopening.
Because they have to do that, what do you call it? Public health has to do something. Oh, certify.
The ribbon cutting, right?
Yeah,
and then the
ribbon
soft
cutting.
opening for VIPs at first.
I'm thinking, tomorrow,
Champagne.
and then the governor can report on it in the
Wine
State of the
tasting.
Island address. Yeah. So we've got to be able to block traffic there.
There's levels to this.
Oh my God. 6:11 in the morning. Let me get to something that I can control. It is the weather. Partly sunny skies, highs near 80. I can't control the weather. I can control the reading of the weather. Partly sunny, highs near 87 degrees. East-northeast winds blowing up to about 11 miles an hour today. Partly cloudy and overnight lows of about 76 degrees. And northeast winds blowing against 7 to 10 miles an hour. With a heat index, it'll feel like 94 today and tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies with highs near 87 degrees tomorrow. East-northeast winds slight 9 to 15 miles an hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow night. About the same thing is going to be happening on Thursday. Mostly sunny, highs near 87 degrees. Sunrise this morning. Earlier and earlier, 6:29 when it breaks the plane over at Pirates Cove. We'll get some pictures and show them to you a little bit later on. Sunset tonight is going to be at 6:31. Are you sure yesterday wasn't some kind of solstice? Some kind of, hippie in the moonlight thing.
I'll
Did
do
I
some
miss?
research.
I was out. I was out looking for it, and then it rained, and I said, screw it, I'm going home. So could be some of that. All right, there it is, 6:12 in the morning. News and weather together brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for 68 years.
KFC's $5 breakfast deals are the best and most affordable ways to start your day. The Colonel's Chicken and Rice Bowl, $5. Chicken fried steak, $5. Sausage, biscuit, and gravy, $5. And they all come with a fresh coffee. KFC $5 breakfast deals are served starting at 6 a.m. daily at your favorite KFC restaurant. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years, we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. Their services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
What? Start? No? Portions of the program brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Go there. Joe, you're going to need to run out and get the door in the back. I got a guy.
Roger that.
Yeah. Just real quick. It's JoJo. He's safe. He's a safe guy. Don't worry about him. 6:14, Ray Gibson Show. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. And this morning it has been an absolute mess. I'm not sure what it is, but we've got some technological issues that were affecting the sound of the radio station, and it seemed to clear up a little bit ago. But I got some people that are coming in and out to check on things. So there could be a couple of drops and dribs and drabs between now and when we finally get everything straightened out. If you were actually listening to the radio in the last half hour or so, yeah, sci-fi sounds.
Yeah.
So George Lucas wants all of that sound for the next Star Wars movie. But here's the other issue here. Thanks for the picture, Sarita. It's online here. The other issue is chasing that prevented me from doing the usual amount of Ray Gibson show prep in order to bring you 4 hours of incredible broadcasting and excellent listener experience. So what I'm trying to say here is I'm going to wing it today. I'm going to be
Sounds
winging
like
it
every
today.
day, Ray.
I know, and you're going to go, but how can I tell the difference?
We're going to wing it.
The issue here is and we're not really sure what's changed in the last 12 hours or so. Everything was fine when I went to bed last night, but we started experiencing some issues. It will only affect the sound that comes out of the transmitter. Everything else are online streams, the point.gu, the Facebook feed, the YouTube feed, the app feed, everything should sound just absolutely perfect. But if you're listening online, you might get some of those situations, and frankly, until we get that sorted out, there's really not a whole lot that I can do about it until the technology guys get a chance to look things over, and they'll be doing that through the course of the morning. So if you haven't yet, download the app. It works. If you've got a car that's got Apple CarPlay or the whatever it is, the Google version of that, it works. It'll integrate seamlessly, and the logo will come up, and you can download all 3 of our radio stations, and then have access to Star 101, Boss 104, and us anytime you want to. Or, you can download just one, and then you can choose the stations from inside the app. I know technology is cool that way, but have that handy just in case you need it here. It's 6:16 in the morning. I'm trying to. Was there anything else I needed to talk about with it? Don't bother calling Joe. Joe don't know what the hell is. Joe's surprised we're on the air. Yeah, because I was literally 15 minutes ago going, yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to do this, but it seemed to clean up.
I almost called the National Guard, man.
I know.
I felt that.
Make sure the station was knocked half. Be sure to report to the public. Thank you, Dwayne Santos. I appreciate that. Dwayne making the noise that make sure your station was not hacked. If so, be sure to report it to the proper people.
Who, GMH?
No, Joanne Brown. Joanne Brown
I
wants
see.
to be notified immediately in the event of some kind of data breach or some issue that they feel. But she's not our chairperson. I don't know if there's a chairperson for folks in the radio and media.
Yeah.
No, there probably shouldn't be either.
Yeah.
Over at Legislature.
Another board.
I mean, I might tell Doug Moylan just because I don't want him to be tuning in and not being able to hear me talk about the most recent rounds of panhandle portraits that we've got here. 6:17 in the morning. There's a fella, and I think this is over at Route 16. If you're watching online here this morning, maybe you've seen the guy. And this might be the guy. You remember they had that machete sword fight the other day?
No.
Where they were fighting over who got to ride the wheelchair?
Yeah.
I think he won. He must have been the guy that won because he's in the wheelchair today, out there doing that thing.
I run this corner.
Doug sent me another one here. Not exactly sure where it was, but there's no. I think maybe it's airport intersection, and there's a guy. He's got the orange vest. It looks official.
It's a little faded, man.
That's because it's been around for a long time.
Okay.
They've been passing that orange vest down from one guy to the other since the old man was selling newspapers at the ITC building. So you got
it's a family heirloom.
It's an heirloom.
Come on, man.
6:18 in the morning.
Do they not do that anymore? I mean, how come nobody sells newspapers on there? I used to buy those newspapers.
It's not. That's not actually. I think the government finally got a hold of somebody over at the PDN and said, knock it off.
Okay.
If it was the old guy, if it was the old guy, I would do it, Ray.
Well, I mean,
I'd
look,
hook him
that
up,
old
man.
guy, he
Remember
reminds
him?
me of Lutz from over at McCrouds.
Yeah.
This guy, get the blank out of here. Why I'm a businessman. Why you got to bother me? Go find the crooks. There's crooks out there. There's crooks in the parking lot. Go get those guys. But stop bothering me. Which is what he said to the people over at DEH and the SWAT teams that came over at his place so many times. Anyway, a lot to get through on the table of contents. Not really, because I haven't been able to focus on a whole lot there, though there might be a couple of other videos and things. Yesterday, and see if you can find the mayor of beautiful Inalåhan again, because home runs have been hit, ladies and gentlemen. One of the big stories yesterday was about how the Inalåhan pools are back in service, but unfortunately, they can't open the what do you call it? The bathrooms there because it was an unpaid bill somewhere between the Department of Parks and Recreation and GWA. There was a billing issue, and GWA rightfully would not turn on the water for the Department of Parks and Recreation so that people could go pee-pee and poo-poo while they were visiting beautiful Inalåhan pools.
Yeah, you got to hold it till you get to like Jotnya or...
Yeah, but even in Jotnya, where are you going to go? Which part of agate smells like pee-pee?
I don't know, man. I
Anyway.
ain't going there.
But anyway, sorry, it's just me. The words are popping out of my head in a desperate attempt to kill time. But anyway, so we got these guys, and so the mayor, who is a get-it-done guy, reaches out, finds a few people that have technology. We're cleaning this place up. And so they hooked up to a spigot on the at the bathrooms, a power washer.
Here we go.
And take a look.
Flush it out.
Take a look. And I'm not entirely sure exactly where the water is coming from. I'm not sure that this is GWA water or if it is. I believe that a connection was made by hose to the bathroom building to the neighbor's house.
What do you mean hose?
Like a hose,
okay.
like a.
Sorry, Ray.
Go to Benson,
My
big
mind.
green hose, or maybe one of the the super Guam utility.
How do we
hoses.
get that mayor in my village?
I don't know. This guy. And this guy is absolutely awesome. And so they got enough water there to take care of pressure washing. I think I got a video of a guy taking a shower, a tourist that's coming out there. Well, no. Like a shower they've got. Oh, wait. There's some GWA dudes. Or maybe just dudes going, hey,
Village dudes.
I'll turn it on. Don't worry. I have the key. I got the key. I'll go ahead and turn the thing on. So we've got toilets apparently
nice.
flush now, maybe. I don't know. We'll fix the Sloan valve. Former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez in the area. In fact, it might have been him that was shooting this video and saying, look, we got to go down there. We got to get it done. We cannot have this brand new jewel of the South without having some place for somebody to go and relieve themselves or rinse off the salt water if they've been swimming around in the pools. That's the kind of leadership. That's we could wait and call up the radio station and complain to the guy on the air, or you know what? We're just going to take matters into our own hands. We'll go ahead and take care of this.
Yeah.
We'll find a guy. We'll get we'll find out, get the thing on. And then after that, then we'll complain about who owes who what money. But in the meantime, can we get it going? 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number around the radio station. 797-TALK is the telephone number if you want to send some memes out. I got a whole bunch of memes that I'll take a look at a little bit later on. Meme Machine Plain Boy has been going crazy with some incredible memes here this morning. The SVB, that Silicon Valley Bank, had no head of risk assessment for 9 months before it collapsed, as woke boss for Europe, Middle East, and Africa was busy organizing a month-long pride campaign and a lesbian visibility day. So obviously, never mind the failure of the bank. Banks go out of business once a week or something like that. But it's important that we have our pride campaign and lesbian visibility day so that everybody feels like they've been seen, I guess. But it's 797-8255. Real Joe gets the phone when you call at 888-8255. No, wait a second. Yeah, that's what the number is.
Yeah, you're doing good, man.
Okay. But I got to...
Crisis averted.
Donna is going to take care of news.
What you do around here, Donna?
Donna's going to take care of news and headlines. So here's the real deal, bro. So she was asking me earlier, can I say pee on the radio?
Oh, wow.
And, so naturally, my question is, well, it depends on what context. Is this a conversation about R. Kelly? Because if that's the case, then no, we're not gonna do R. Kelly conversation. Leave that body function separate. She said, no. There's a story about what is it, man of war jellyfish. The box jellyfish are back in town, and there was a story about what happens when you get stung. But she didn't say what the guy apparently said not to pee. Don't pee on it, right? Yes. Okay. You can use the microphone if you want it, because nobody can see you not. Yeah, but anyway, so the guy says, don't pee on it.
Yeah, don't pee on it.
But you were upset because there was no follow-up. Then what do you do?
He said it before it. So he said, do this, but do not pee.
I see.
And not do not pee, do this instead.
What was the this instead?
Wow.
You'll find out at 6:30.
Okay, you're getting gaslit is what I'm seeing.
Wait a second. And I'm going, whoa, no. How can that be? That flies in the face of legend, tradition. I'm just wondering what science is this guy following? When she reveals the story at 6:30, you'll find out. In the meantime, at 6:24, and about time for me to take a look at the growing list of Ray Gibson Show fanatics to see who's in first place and who's chiming in and all of the other stuff that we do around this time.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
All right, 6:25 in the morning, just getting confirmation, and I can relax now, getting confirmation from one of our technology partners that it's not my fault. Whatever happened, whatever happened is not my fault. Thank you very much. Somebody else has to go brave the road from Channel 10 all the way up to the tippity top of Mount Ludum. Somebody else has got to climb the rickety stairs, and somebody else. Yeah, yes. And it doesn't have to be me. And no. I'm sorry. Wrong sound effect. Because I actually, some of you might go, wow, really? You have a life? I today at 11 o'clock is a scheduled visit with Ashley Haircut.
Oh, nice. Oh, my God.
Always,
Thank you, Jesus.
It's about that.
Oh, did I say that?
Yeah,
my mic
okay.
was on.
Here's the thing. I worry about going to see Ashley Haircut because she's the only one that really can see me from that side, and I'm worried that she's going to go. Yeah, there's not much that we can do here. Maybe it's time that you consider a crew cut. Maybe it's time that you consider have you and Jerry Roberts and Real Joe have had a conversation about the daily work that needs to be done to maintain the smooth and shiny.
Come to Kojak moment, Ray.
I'm not ready for that yet. Not ready for it. 6:27 in the morning. All right, who come in first on the machine? It's Rico Blancaflor. Big man, Rico B.
Morning.
Asking, hey now, what's that sound? Beautiful Sarita Garin, Maganda Numaga Point Familia. Colin Clark saying good morning. I got former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez.
Bring back the sunshine. Bring back that sunshine. He's bringing back that sunshine. Uncle Carl Gutierrez brings it every time.
Right on, and again, on behalf of everybody that will be attending the Inalåhan pool just for hanging out and barbecuing and maybe drinking more than their fair share of some kind of beverage and need someplace to go, mammy, thank you very, very much for whatever role that you played in getting the water back on and cleaning things out over down there. Felix Bumba online. I got Patty Santiago, Patrick A. and Martha Toves might visit the kid over at the gas station today. Yeah. Just saying. Alert the authorities. Mark Anthony, Buenos Aires to Tim Zedeker. Joe Cruz says, we are live. Oh, that's you.
Yeah,
cool.
Man. Excited.
Brad Wood is there.
Morning, Wood.
Adonis Quito Mendiola with a variety of emojis here, including the peach emoji. Followed by what looks like a cloud blast emoji, followed by the emoji where the guy's covering his nose, and then there's the emoji of I think I'm going to vomit, and I'm dead. So, Adonis, is there somebody around you with a fart issue? Is there extra gas floating around in your place? If so, you know what it might be? It might be a function of getting older. The question had been asked among some of the paperwork that I did not get to yesterday because I was either distracted or lazy or whatever. It was a question that asked, do old people fart more? And I'm not going to say as the guy that does morning radio on the old guy talk station, I'm not going to say I am your leader. I am going to identify as one of you and maybe among the for some of you older. Do old people fart more? Although there are limited data on the association between age and flatulence frequency, 16,000 Americans were surveyed, and researchers found that individuals 65 and older passed gas less often than the younger.
You like with sound? Because I think
they can. You know what?
I think the older
when you get older,
they can go longer.
When you get older, it's I
the
know
length of the fart can go for like a minute
because it just kind of leaks out of their butt. Like they can't help it. Just all of a sudden you smell it.
Again, researchers found that individuals 65 and older passed gas less often than the younger age groups. But,
God, I love working here, man.
People People lie in surveys all the time. All the time. Where was I? Rico, Keena McCausland, yucky day here in Vancouver, Washington. Rain, rain, rain. Bunker Meadows out there. I got Jane out to Dennis Benzer saying, everybody look what's going down. Where were we, Dennis? Are we three
Here
today?
we go.
He sent me the thing. And I haven't even gotten started.
Proud today?
He's proud. He says, the kid is back.
Morning, DB.
What have I got? Greg Basnight and Anna Marie. Tony and Annette Unpinko Ada. We haven't heard the last of Tony Ada. Okay, now today would have been a day to use the other sound effect. All right, so I'll try it again.
Right.
Tony, we haven't heard the last of Tony Ada.
Oh, and what?
Fart noise. Never mind, you ruined it. You ruined it. We're going to have to stop, edit.
Stop the show.
Just like, what's his name did. We got Dan Rosal on. Dennis Larson is hanging out here. Colin, Gerald Young. Oh, okay, Lonnie Solis. Who else is there? Yes, Ray, you cannot control things you have no control of, like this driver in front of me doing 25 miles an hour on the back road. I encountered an issue like that recently in beautiful Tucson, where there was a car. I couldn't tell whether it was a local or military or a visitor that was behind the wheel, but they couldn't sort out that turn coming out of Jimmy Izakaya and then up the street towards from the west, and like you're driving away from the west. Just couldn't sort that out. What gear am I supposed to be in? Is it 2 lanes? Does it become 1? Do I merge now? Do I merge later? Was this guy beeping his horn incessantly at me? And the answer is Ray Gibson, mornings, 93.3. Let me see, Sarita, Ed Buendicho. Good morning, Bandit. Thanks for the Pugwa. I really, really appreciate it. Joe Dizon and Francis Duffy, Pam Duval, the incredible hot sister of the program. Let me see, Ruel, the Rooster Drillon. What? Pam Duval asking, Lesbian Visibility Day. What in this wide, wide world? I didn't know they were invisible. Hi, Ade.
Yeah, show us your lesbians.
Line them up. Alex Affligui, whose name I probably already said. I got Scott K. Armstrong. Jerome McDonald says, okay, I'm not going to say what he said. Vince P. Delgado. Dea Laudette saying, good morning. Buenos and half a day to EOD Kaboom.
Hot wives.
It's something about it's not the old man farts, but the tiny leftovers. Okay, we're gonna have that kind of Tuesday. I got you. Let me see what else is going on. I was in the security industry. Says Ken. Okay, he might call in on all of that. 888-8255-888-TALK. You got some more? Oh, do me a favor. Like, share, follow. Not necessarily in that order. Follow. And if you're watching on the YouTube side, there's a thing that looks like an alarm. Click on that. That way, whenever we go live, whether it's this program. Or if you do the same thing on Bob Klitsky's Tall Tales, then every time we go live, you'll be able to see what's going on. You'll get a little notification on your smart systems. Michelle Conception saying good morning. Good time to buy bank stocks, says Harvey Egna. BOH is a buy right now. I completely expected the markets to be upside down this morning. When I came in, it looks like they might be moving in that direction now, but the Dow was certainly looking a whole lot better when I jumped in. NASDAQ is still green right now, but the S&P 500 is drifting down by about 5.8. I can't remember. I think I'm trying to remember if those are final numbers or not. Whenever we make the change to daylight savings time, I'm like, is this information old or new? It takes me a couple of days to get used to it. And as I have discovered, I'm not the only one. There's another one of these surveys that says that the transition between daylight savings time from one to the other usually takes about a week for people to sort out. Kind of like the transition from one year to another, where you're writing for the first week the number, the year that was last year. Like, hey, it's still writing 2022 on my checks. I can't say that because, I'm still writing 1975 on my checks, but that's just me. 6:34, and time to take our first big look at news and headlines. And if you get stung by boxed jellyfish, this newscast could save your life. Donna, what happened?
19-year-old Jay Taisiki was arrested following a stabbing in Dedido. Court documents state that he got into an argument with another man before stabbing him in the chest and leg with a kitchen knife. A witness told police she saw Taisiki chasing after the victim while holding a knife. He claimed to have been in a fight with the victim but denied using a knife. He had a separate case from April of last year where he threatened others at a local high school with a knife. And students from Guam and the CNMI gathered at UOG yesterday for the annual Chamorro language competition that started in the early 90s. It's one way to perpetuate the Chamorro heritage, especially among the youth, through spoken word, art, and dance. The second half of the competition will be held today from 8 to 5 at the UOG Fieldhouse. And box jellyfish are expected to be in Guam waters from tomorrow to Friday, March 17. Beachgoers are warned not to get too close, even if they wash up on shore and appear dead. Their tentacles have a reach of up to 6 feet and can still sting. Department of Agriculture's fisheries biologist Brent Tibbats says when caring for jellyfish stings, don't pee on it. He advises to remove the stingers with a stick or credit card, apply vinegar, then warm water. And those are your local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Stop screaming, and then
I need your credit card. Can I borrow your credit card?
My credit card is from the Silicon Valley Bank. Will it still work? Is that still going to be? Will it still be as effective as it otherwise would have been? All right, 6:35 in the morning. So much to get to, and so much to make up. It is among other things. Wait a second. Let me just back up to where we were before. The numbers. Is it numbers? No, it is. It might not be. I was the 3 out of 6. That's Dennis Benzer's Wordle score for today. So yeah, the kid is hot tonight, as they said back in the old days. Might be a couple of other things. Jerome McDonald, who is listening right now and is having the most impure thoughts and can't help but put them on the Facebook, is online right now. He was so taken last week and the week before with Donna D's throat condition. he could hear the little baby Donna D coughs in the background while she was doing news and that kind of thing. So he said, I'm going to send some green tea.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm going to send some green tea to the radio station, and I'm going to see if I can get it. I'll just send a few boxes.
That was for real?
That was for real. So the guy sends over. I'm going to see if I can get some of this on.
No, there's a box, Ray.
It's not just a little thing, right? He sent
What's
over
in the box?
An entire
in the box?
It's green tea is in the box. You see
box,
it?
Ray?
It's a
you
huge
didn't watch
box
7?
of green tea things. So I don't know.
It's the size of a head, Ray.
Yeah, it is.
That's all I'm saying, man.
2
heads.
Is it 8 pounds?
I didn't, and he sent it UPS. That's how you know he loves us. He didn't go with it. He went with he went with one of the expensive ones. That's like, you want to ship that to Guam? So that's 7 times the price of whatever it is that he wants to send. So Donna, what I'm going to ask you to do is the unboxing. I've given you the radio station DeWalt knife. We've used this to open up every box for equipment and whatever in the radio station for the last 5 or 6 years. So if you would please get the thing. I know you're familiar with handling a knife.
That knife, so
yeah, well, it might be why
you're
she's
pretty
still
special,
single.
Donna.
All right. Oh, it's like a birthday cake going down to one side.
Here we go.
You don't have to go slow. This is why on television they already kind of like a breakaway box or something like that. But look at you can see it on screen. Look at that style. Look at how good she's. You can tell she's worked a DeWalt knife before, and sometime box cutter. She's ready to take over a flight.
Yeah, you're ready.
Wait, what?
Whatever's
more?
in there. Ray's like, here, you open it, man.
No, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. I'm just waiting. At this point, I'm just waiting to find out what the brand is or whether he's, if we got any of those California snakes that he put in there. Oh, did you send fireworks?
Yeah.
Can you?
I hope there's fireworks in there.
Never know. How are we doing there, Donna D? We've got, we made headway. There's progress. There's progress. Okay. This is now Donna knows a thing or two about packages. Ooh, wow. That looks like the good stuff. That's okay, so I'm not familiar with the brand, but it does look like he went out and bought the expensive stuff. It's what?
Itoen.
Itoen, okay. Itoen tea, and the good thing about this is
Korean.
obviously...
No, it's Japanese.
It's Japanese.
It will...
the writing looks the same.
This stuff cures cancer and AIDS. And
well,
you put you got problems with stains in the bathroom or the toilet, you throw some of that stuff in there. It takes it right off. 6:39 in the morning. Will there be tea drinking? Will there be a tea party here at the radio station soon? Darned if I know. We'll find out together.
Can I have the bubbles?
You may have the bubbles. Yes, baby. You can have the bubbles. Don't pop them while we're on the air, though. Here it comes, the first batch of commercials.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Fly even higher and get to your destination with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. You can earn 40,000 miles with $2,000 worth of spending within the first 3 months. That's 40,000 reasons to get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Certain restrictions apply. To learn more about this offer, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
20 away from 7 o'clock in the morning on kind of a frisky Tuesday. 888-825-5888-TALK. We'll start this one off with the Where is Optimus Prim moment. You may or may not have heard, but they were just so excited about the move and all of the other stuff. They're like, hey, we were up and down in like 20 minutes. Let's try it again. So they picked up another round of heavy equipment and parts for the Guam, for the new power plant, and it is now back up at Ukadu. It's made its way up there. Yeah, I know. I mean,
Prim, where are you?
This time yesterday, it was over at the port. These guys are getting really
fast,
I forget what number it is. I think this is move number 9 or something like that. 9 of 7,000. But you know, little by little. No, because they went from the big, the biggest parts. And I'm told that the last thing that they're going to be moving is a Briggs and Stratton 2.5 horsepower motor. But they got to put it on the Optimus Prim. We paid for the thing, darn it. We're going to use it all the way through and start. You know what? We're going to give that to the mayors when we're done, so they can have like little kid rides in the villages at Christmas. I'm sorry. I'm still a little upset that they didn't take my advice and sell advertising on the side. Yeah. You know, I would have told you know what, guys. You give me. I will broker the deals for you. I will get the advertising, put it up there on the side, and then you just pay me a commission or something like that. That'd be really. It's like a 90% commission. But
like a float.
Yeah, people will go
90%.
Not high enough?
No.
You know, I got to pay for my haircuts. Anyway, 6:42 in the morning. So we'll take a look at what's going on in real life traffic and right now traffic here as we take a look at what's going on the north end of town. Hold on, let me scooch out a little bit more, get a bigger sense of what's happening. A little bit of traffic, Anderson Air Force Base, as you are making your way northbound. Might be some southbound traffic on Marine Corps Drive just before you get to Mickey D's, and maybe a little bit of traffic through there as well. 8, 10, and 16, a little bit of traffic. Let me see. No, not there yet. A little bit of traffic as you make your way southbound through Dededo. I think the heaviest stuff is at 1 and 3 right now, although you never turn your back on 1 and 16 traffic. Route 16 all the way into 8, 10, and 16 running clear. Southbound Marine Corps Drive is just intersection traffic at this point. Route 8 into town, a little bit of dogging out traffic. It's just getting started there, and we're watching traffic build up a little bit more on Route 4. Ugliest thing on Route 10 is the intersection of 10 and 15, but I want you to know, before too much longer, that's going to be the most happening intersection in all of Mingilao Town.
Really?
In all of Mangi Town. Yeah. So 6:43, put the thing together in your head. You look at it on the screen. You can see where 10 and 15 are right there. You see where it says Guam Community College. 8, 10, and 16 is very, very visible. Remember what one of the big stories was last week, and that is they're going to be fixing Mai.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So everybody that comes down on Route 15 in the morning now will have a third option. How do you want to get into town? You want to go on Route 8? You can go on Route 8, or you can go on Route 4. And a lot of people are going to go, well, I would normally go Route 4, but that road, oh, my God, I'd lose my feelings on that thing. But if you make it a smooth road, maybe a little bit wider, accommodate more traffic, that's a great way to get to Route 4 faster so you can get into the downtown and get in your area.
Yeah.
I would use it. I would have used it because I lived around there for a while. I would have used it, except I didn't want to have to go through all the potholes and all the speed bumps and just, chunky old World War I roads that we've got out there. Anyway, 6:44 in the morning. The rest of the traffic is real easy all the way down to Big Navy and Sumai. So there we go, quarter away from 7 on The Point.
Guam Regional Medical City was awarded Advanced Primary Stroke Center certification from the Joint Commission. What does this mean? It means our neuroscience team is equipped with the latest technology and a team of the finest neurological doctors to treat stroke, which is one of the leading causes of death on Guam. GRMC, reflecting our commitment to providing safe and quality patient care. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu or to make an appointment, call 671-633-GRMC.
KFC's Lent menu is filled with so many seafood options, it's enough to keep you going for the entire Lenten season. They're all here. Popcorn shrimp, fish fillets, shrimp and crab Killiquin wraps, and our famous KFC shrimp burger. And now you can mix and match chicken and fish in both 6 and 12-piece family meals with sides and biscuits. KFC's Lent menu is available for a limited time at all KFC restaurants and for delivery at kfcguam.com or WhatsApp 300-3278. KFC, it's finger-licking good for Lent.
For Lent, 645 Ray Gibson Show, 888-825-5888-TALK. Portions brought to you by the guys over at NissanGuam.com and the World Wide Web. Yes, you know, it's too bad somebody else has got to go to the transmitter site to reset things today. Otherwise, yes, I'd be taking my Nissan Frontier. It's Frontier season. Why not? Anytime it rains more than 5 minutes, Frontier season, guys. And a lot of fun that they're having over there with this particular pickup truck. You go on a test drive, you could win $1,000, $1,000 just for trying out the car. Right, you got time. You got time for that. Take a chance, right? And if you don't win $1,000, they got all kinds of other free stuff that you can win: grills and coolers and canopies and more. So take that shot today over at Nissan. And if you do decide to buy it, no money down. First 3 payments on Nissan. And you're going, that's still not good enough, Ray. Does this get better? KKK. How about a case of Spam and a 25-pound sack of rice? All right. And the car wash kit. Don't leave without asking for the car wash kit. You're going to love this ride. Lots of power in here. Plenty of horses. 3.8-liter V6 engine. Silky smooth 9-speed transmission. And yes, it can go into 4-wheel drive without you going outside and getting yourself dirty. For details, NissanGuam.com.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Enjoying Moses last night. Kind of a continuous birthday celebration, and got to a point it was okay. I've had my couple of beers and my Tinatlikani. It's time to go. But before that, though, there was a fella sitting just yonder over at the bend of the Moses Bar, and he just kind of looked over and said, "Hey, love your show. Listen all the time. Think you and Donna and Real Joe are just fantastic." I said, "Really?" I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "Well, I'm only going to be here for about 6 months. This one of these traveling situations and all of that." And he says, when I found out I was coming to Guam, I thought I'd look up and see who I was going to listen to and stuff like that. And I said, "Oh, well, I'm really, really glad you found me." He says, "Yeah, listen to your show online, and now that I'm here, it's great. I can listen to you in real time, and it's just a pleasure meeting you." He says, "The eyeglasses gave it away completely." And so I'm like, that's cool. So we exchanged names, and his name is Salvador, and Salvador then went on and paid for my tab.
Hey, thanks a lot, Sal.
I should have told him. I said, I've had this tab here for about a month now. I was getting around to paying for it. He says, "No, it's kind of," started sweating a little bit. He said, "No, I got it. I'll take care of it. Hope I have a chance to meet up with Salvador and Amy and Heidi and everybody in the next couple of days while they're all still here." 6:48 in the morning. You know what? And I tell you what, Salvador, if you're out driving around, you're looking for someplace, the jewel among many jewels in our hospitality and our tourism crown can be found in beautiful Inalåhan. You might be wondering, how do I get there? Go south. Just go south and right around the bottom of the island is where you will find beautiful Inalåhan. Can't miss it. The beautiful pools are right out there. And we were lamenting yesterday at the idea that the pools are open. What do we got with it? What do we people of Guam got against pools, right? We got a perfectly working pool up in Daytadu, and they won't get the thing started until public health is happy that whatever new thing is been complied with. More on that a little bit later on. And then you get the pools over at Inalåhan. which are absolutely gorgeous, and thankfully people can go. But up until yesterday, you cannot go pee-pee and you cannot go Masinik because there was no bathroom facilities. We tried to get a hold of Mayor Tartaloff yesterday, but unbelievably busy, and then I got videos and found out why. Buenas, Zen Hafaday, Mayor Tone.
Buenas, Hafaday, Ray.
Always good talking with you, and always good to talk to you so I can let the people of Guam know what a great mayor they've got in the village of Inalåhan. It looks like you didn't want to take no for an answer and took all of the appropriate steps to restore the water.
Yeah, so initially, let me just go ahead and start off by, first of all, the morning yesterday started off with Governor Carl Gutierrez reaching out to me and basically saying, hey, what's going on? What can we do to help? So I was very happy that he made that phone call and kind of initiated our next move, which we went ahead and he came up with the idea that, hey, look at the neighbors and see if anybody there is willing to share their water, at least so you can, begin whatever you're intending to do. And their whole intention was to kind of prep the restroom in anticipation of a potential ribbon cutting very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that. We spoke to the neighbors. They gladly allowed for us to use it. So we were cleaning the restrooms and doing what I had. We were water blasting and all of that. Meanwhile, my guys were also painting the rocks. We had pre-positioned rocks out here in the pool area. Those were the residual rocks that were a part of the armoring of the walls here. So we did that. And then, of course, throughout the day, while we were progressing forward, cleaning and what have you, GWA shows up, and then they finally turned on the valve and allowed for water to come in. So I'm actually here right now. We've been here since about 6 o'clock. We're still continuing the water blasting. And, of course, the GVB, Governor Carl Gutierrez, has graciously offered some paint to help paint the deck here, which are definitely going to highlight, again, to make it look more aesthetically pleasing. So definitely we've got a lot of GVB support coming here, and he's also offered other things like maybe perhaps buying the fixtures. So let me just clarify the airways, Ray. The Department of Parks and Recs had initially requested to secure the water, which of course was rightfully so, in that because if any leak was to occur during the time of construction period, that if there was a leak that popped up, of course it will go unnoticed, and then of course up with a big bill. And so, of course, understanding now that we're trying to reopen up, we're trying to get ready to have a ribbon cutting, we're trying to prep the whole area. And so, of course, again, like I said, Governor Carl was graciously offered, to help pay for the fixtures. We did test the fixtures yesterday, found out the gaskets, I guess, because when they're not lubricated or wet all the time, they become dry and brittle. So that has to be replaced. And the governor has already offered that he's willing to help me out in doing that, and also with the paint. So we're pretty much give me about two or 3 days at the most, and this part should be ready to, for the general public to come in.
Will there, and so we've been talking about, and you mentioned it here just a second ago about perhaps a ribbon cutting down the road. Let me know when that is going to take place. I think we all love the opportunity to go down there and enjoy some barbecue and Inalåhan hospitality.
Oh, absolutely, yes. I would definitely reach out and inform you, and hopefully you're able to come down. Let's just hope it's not so early, as I know you're still residential 10. So, but definitely we would love to have you in our presence here. And so, yes, we're kind of like doing. I mean, we've been maintaining the pool, so there's just some fine touches here and there. That, of course, it hasn't been any water, which is why we're only water blasting now. But if we had water here the whole time, we would have probably done a lot of. So we're just taking proactive measures, and the one thing I want to say, and even my guys constantly say, we're results oriented, very much like the Governor Gutierrez. We're men of results. We're men of solutions, not excuses. Results, not reasons. So I love the fact that I have a full support coming from GVB, and it just makes my job so much easier.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's a great looking place, and as I say, it is one of the stars that we've got in the constellation of our culture, of our tourism here on Guam. And I'm glad that they've got such a great caretaker in you and your team over in the mayor's office. I think it's fantastic. So, for clarity now, it was not an issue about whether or not DPR paid GWA. It was just a question of we needed to secure that just in case somebody let it go or there was a leak popped up. So it's back open. The toilets will be working. The showers will be working, and we don't have to worry about.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I just wanted to let you know. So yesterday there were several Korean and Japanese tourists that actually I went in and swam in the pool, and after they were done seeing the water was coming out, they asked if they could rinse off, and we said, oh, of course, absolutely. So they took advantage of that. But I wanted to add on to that, the governor and Lieutenant Governor, Governor Lou and Lieutenant Governor Josh has made it abundantly clear that the parks are a big priority for them. They want to come in and take a look, reevaluate the pavilion, see if there's any spouting cracks or what have you, that they can send in a team to kind of. So they've done some assessment work, and there are some work that needs to be done here within our pavilion. So I'm glad that they're taking a proactive approach as well in trying to remedy the situation here.
All right. Well, I'm glad that it kind of feels that all hands deal, and as usual, former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez coming to the rescue.
Yes, absolutely, and I'm very thankful and grateful that I have him working alongside with us and trying to promote definitely not just the park. Yesterday, a lot of people are calling me saying, hey, the Inalåhan Pool is the number 2 tourist attraction. I didn't know that, but of course, I understand that could be very well true because we get a volume of traffic and people coming wanting to enjoy the pool, the park.
Well, expect more now that the people recognize it's open. I hope you get a chance to put that up on the big screen and say, yeah, come on by and eat your sandwich. The best way to do this, of course, is you swing up by Pirates Cove and get your food to go and then go down there and chow down on it. And if you're not doing that, then bring your own hibachi and some charcoal and some marination and whatever. Just make sure you save a piece of rib for Mayor Ton. Okay, amigo. All right, you take care of yourself. I'm so glad, happy to be able to report that here this morning at 6:56 and change. And yeah, I'm going to shine Governor Gutierrez's shoes on this. It's just one of those things where he goes, "Well, what? What do you mean? There's no water in the? There's no reason why there shouldn't be any water in the bathroom facilities. Come on, let's get this going and just grab the bull by the horns.
Oh, yeah.
No one be the horns and get these situations
Way
resolved.
too many tourists here right now, Ray.
It's 6:56, and we're getting there. Yeah, there's a lot going on. 888-825-5888-TALK. Now, you take the good with the bad, and unfortunately, one of the sad things that we've got to report here, and this started making its way on my personal meme machine last night, is the idea that there is not going to be the Malesso Crab Festival. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I saw a flyer.
They have posted.
Why? What happened?
The
postponement, right? Yeah.
It is the thing said it was canceled, but it's just postponed. So originally scheduled for this weekend, it has now been rescheduled for late April the 28th, 29th, and 30th. So that's when they're going to be having it. Now, there's a variety of reasons, and I don't know for sure. Maybe we'll see if we can get a hold of the mayor of Malesso and find out from him later on what the big deal is. Is it? Are we still in Lent? Maybe is that part of it? So you don't want to have a big celebration. I don't know. Some people don't party during Lent, so maybe there's that. Maybe there's molting. Maybe the problem is that they're going out there and looking up the skirt of all the girl crabs and going, oh yeah, you're molting. You're gonna make baby crabs, so we can't disturb them during this. Or maybe something as simple as, hey, did anybody apply for our liquor license? Oh, no? How long is it going to take? Okay, well, maybe we'll just go ahead and reschedule this. We'll see what details we can get, because I know from talking with other people, this was, I mean, it's the Crab Festival, right? This is not a small deal. And there were all kinds of groups that were ready to go down there, pop-ups and food trucks and performers and all of that. And I started getting a couple of telephone calls yesterday. That's Malesso Fiesta and Fiesta Time Nice is Peter J. Santos. And I started getting phone calls and emails going, are you sure this is what's going on? And I said, yeah, that's why. That's what's happening, but I'm not entirely sure why. 6:58, so we got some of that that is working. I'm glad that Peter Santos is here. I want to see if Peter's going to take up...
One more time, Ray.
Sorry, Peter Santos.
Good morning, Peter.
I don't know why it's still funny in my head, but I just wonder. Peter Santos, do me a favor. Don't take the Retulap case. Why? Okay, now you've been here long enough that you've heard me talk about this before, right? They've got this one family that shows up in the magistrate reports all the time. On or about March 11th, officers were dispatched to the Sinanya mobile gas station. They spoke with the manager, who informed them that Christine Retulap had stolen numerous items from the gas stations, and they were found in the defendant's 2009 Tacoma. The defendant was arrested on the scene. The defendant has numerous numerous open cases, on probation in 1, 2, 3, 4 cases, and on pretrial release for another one. Based on the foregoing, there's probable cause to charge Christine Ratchelat with retail theft.
She's almost under 10 strikes and out.
No, we don't have that, unfortunately, and I don't know, but it's one of those things where it just seems to see the same last name floating around in some of these cases. This woman has made herself known to the police officers and the criminal justice system around here, and I think maybe it's time that we add up all of these charges against her and make one big gigantic charge and throw her in jail for a while. It's closing in on 7 o'clock in the morning. KUSG, I got you where peak is best. This is The Point.
Focus on financial institutions. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. President Biden attempted to reassure markets today that U.S. financial institutions are secure after the collapse of 2 banks.
The president calling for more regulations to prevent future losses. The Biden administration says the decision to step in and guarantee these deposits, even those over the normal $250,000 amount, was because this was not a decision that was taken lightly, and that specific bank failures represented a systemic risk to the financial system overall.
Fox's Mark Meredith. President Biden and Democrats are calling for stronger oversight of financial institutions, while Republicans suggest the key to preventing this is lowering inflation. The Biden administration today announcing the approval of a large oil project on Alaska's petroleum-rich North Slope. Climate activists say allowing oil company ConocoPhillips to move forward with the plan would break Biden's campaign promise to stop new oil drilling on public lands. ConocoPhillips says its Alaska Willow project would produce up to 180,000 barrels of oil a day. Well, North Korea is increasing its military drills and missile tests.
Nuclear-armed North Korea test-fired 2 strategic cruise missiles from a submarine on Sunday, just as U.S.-South Korea military drills were due to begin. North Korea has long bristled over drills it regards as a rehearsal for invasion. Experts have long told Fox News a submarine launch capability for North Korea's nuclear missiles would provide a new threat to the U.S.
Fox's Greg Palcott. Former Trump attorney Michael Cohen testified today before a New York grand jury as prosecutors prepare for a possible indictment against the former president for illegal hush money payments to porn star Stormy Daniels. Cohen says his goal is not revenge, but the truth.
This is all about accountability. He needs to be held accountable for his dirty deeds.
Former President Trump posting on a social media site that the Stormy Daniels and other investigations are witch hunts. America is listening to Fox News.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
More than 1,700 people in Monterey County, California left their homes Friday after a broken levee led to flash flooding. At a shelter in Santa Cruz County, evacuee Eddie Rocha says he found his home filling up with water.
Water coming like crazy. At least from 10 to 12 inches of water was coming running to our house, so it's getting higher and higher.
In Pajaro County, residents were told to avoid drinking tap water as the district's wells were contaminated with flood water. With more heavy rain forecast, the county-run shelters will remain open. Iran announced today that the country's supreme leader has pardoned 22,000 people arrested in the recent anti-government protests that swept the Islamic Republic. Those demonstrations were sparked over the September death of 22-year-old Masa Amini, who had been detained by the country's morality police. The Catholic Church is making some concessions as St. Patrick's Day falls on a Friday for the 33rd time.
Catholics don't eat meat on Fridays during the Lent season, though some across the country are getting a free pass. According to a survey from the Denver Catholic Magazine, more than 3/4 of the country's diocesan bishops are offering some relief, substituting the general rule of abstinence from meat with another form of penance or a significant act of charity. And while others, like the Chicago Archdiocese, won't green light corned beef this Friday. It says Catholics who find themselves at an event where meat is served in celebrating St. Patrick may in good conscience substitute the general rule for an appropriate act that upholds the reflective spirit of Lent. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
It was a mixed day on Wall Street as investors digested details of those two bank failures. The Dow falling 90 points, the S&P closing 5 points lower, with the NASDAQ gaining 49 points. I'm Rich Dennison, and this is Fox News.
This spring, shop on over to the Micronesia Mall and enter to win. Redeem receipts totaling $10 or more. Scratch for a chance at instant prizes from Burger King or Foot Locker. Or receive a grand prize entry form for a drawing on May 6th for a chance to win a new Toyota Tacoma 4x4 SR5 off-road package with lift kit from Atkins Scroll Toyota. 10 lucky runners-up will get $250 gift certificates from Goodwin Travel and Tour for tickets to Philippine Airlines. Shop more, win more at the Micronesia Mall. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more.
Well, hello. Ray Gibson here to tell you it's officially Frontier season at Nissan Guam. Go test drive a new Frontier and own one with no money down. Plus, Nissan will make the first 3 payments for you. You'll love your new Frontier as much as I do mine. Plus, they're giving away cash, all sorts of prizes. Way too much to share in a 30-second commercial, so visit the showroom or visit the website, nissanguam.com today.
Take Care recently moved to its new location at the Century Plaza in Tamuning. Take Care customer service, administration, claims, membership accounting services, FHP Home Health and Hospice, and FHP Vision Center are all now located at the top floor of the Century Plaza in Tamuning. If you need any assistance, please call customer service at 671-647-3526. Email customer service at takecareasia.com or visit takecareasia.com. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
Off a day at 7:06. I'm Donna DeJesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. Extra trash will have to remain at curb. This, according to GSWA General Manager Irvin Slyke, as the agency expects to reduce trash pickup to once every other week if it loses just one more trash truck out of the 5 operable trucks in its fleet. That's 5 trucks servicing 20,000 customers. Any less than that, Slyke says there aren't enough hours in the day to manage the required truck hours to collect a normal route. GSWA residential customers receive a 95-gallon trash bin and, if interested, a 95-gallon recycle bin, and the agency believes the bins now remain sufficient, especially if the recycle collection efforts are suspended during the ongoing trash truck shortage. The recycling bin would be instead used for normal household waste in consideration of collections dropping to once every other week, but biweekly trash collection could still result in trash accumulating on island streets. Meanwhile, legal fees and costs of other professional services in the Archdiocese of Agana's bankruptcy have now so far reached more than $9.2 million. Cash, real property, and other assets transferred to a trust to help pay survivors of Guam clergy sexual assaults are valued at least $45.7 million. The Archdiocese already paid a little more than $9 million to the multiple law firms, accounting firms, and real estate-related firms that worked on the bankruptcy case since 2019. There's no specific date given yet when the more than 270 survivors of Guam clergy sexual assaults dating back to the 1950s will start receiving settlement payments from the Archdiocese. More news after this.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Tellin San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
The Missile Defense Agency's $10.9 billion fiscal 2024 budget prioritizes regional and homeland missile defense with a major focus on building an air and missile defense architecture in Guam. The agency is asking for more than $800 million to develop and begin constructing its architecture to defend Guam from air and missile threats. The MDA proposes spending nearly half of the $800 million to continue design and development of the integrated missile defense architecture for the island. The request also funds the integration of an Aegis system for Guam. The MDA is also seeking a little over $220 million to develop the Terminal High Altitude Area, THAAD, which provides ballistic missile defense capability in Guam and in South Korea. And UOG officials say the university cannot sustain another deep budget cut as it had to do in the immediate years past. UOG President Dr. Thomas Kreis is making a very public plea for senators to provide the school with its full budget request this coming school year. Otherwise, accreditation could be threatened and Kreis notes that UOG had a historic run of 16 years continuous accreditation, the longest the university has ever had in its 70-year history. He adds that it's at risk this year because of a serious decline in funding since 2018. Kreis says the funding cuts can't continue and threaten all the progress the university has made over the years. There's also been an exodus of personnel with 77 vacancies needing to be filled. Kreis is asking for the public support of the university to get back to where it was 5 years ago. And those were your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
So you were having glitches too. You got any glitches in the Matrix?
You know, I feel like everybody's having glitches, uncompleted sentences online.
Okay, so look this up. It's one of those things where people would normally not pay much attention to this kind of thing, especially technology, broadcasting, etc. There's a thing though. Real Joe and I have investigated in the past. Where is Mercury? Yes. Is it Mercury? Yeah. It's Mercury. If Mercury is in retrograde, that would explain the technical issues that we were having this morning, the computer issues that you were having, that was taking, I'm sure, a perfectly lucid statement coming from Dr. Tom Kreis at the University of Guam and making it difficult, if not impossible, to comprehend while you were doing the news. So I would say it was a Mercury is in retrograde, and that's just a fancy way of saying it's not my fault. Portions of the program here brought to you by, well, I'm going to throw this one here at Pirates Cove because it's the weathery part, and the guys over at Pirates Cove, i.e. Jeff, has got some great sunrise pictures. One on the screen right now. You can see the sun has already broken the plane. That's nice. Partly sunny, bringing partly sunny skies with it. Daytime highs near about 87 degrees. Heat index will make it feel like 94. We got the winds out of the east, northeast, 8 to 11 miles an hour. About the same thing going to be happening tonight, except darker because it's night. Overnight low should be about 76 degrees. Tomorrow, get ready for this. Mostly sunny skies and daytime highs near 87 degrees. Great time to work outside. And by work, I mean hanging out at the beach, watching the Koreans walk up and down and drinking beer and maybe, getting a good look at your bikini while you're there hanging out. And any beach will do, right? Partly cloudy and overnight lows on tomorrow night, Thursday. Mostly sunny again with daytime highs of about 87 degrees. Oh, don't make plans for tomorrow night. Because Cousin Troy said tomorrow they're going to be carrying the governor's State of the Island address. Now he's not. He said, believe he was not going to be doing play-by-play. Darn. But I think he did say that they were going to leave the comments open on the screen so that the people can, they can verbally, text in their applause, when the governor says something fantastic like crime is down or we beat COVID and we got more money for the business sector and all of that, and the pool's going to open sometime this year up in Dededo.
I'm going for the Jansen comments, Ray.
712 FART Facebook. What is it? Facebook alert response team.
Yeah.
It's been so long since we've had to use that. All right, 713. All right, that's it. News and weather together here on The Point.
Half a day. This is Jade Uggan from Security Title. And in celebration of Tomorrow Month, here is a tip on dealing with your land. You might be thinking of giving part of your property to your child or another family member. Once you have subdivided the property and recorded the map, you will also need to record the deed transferring the title. Just drawing the map is not enough to make sure they actually own the land. Protehi I Tanonmu. When it comes to your family land, call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
just in time for Lent. It's our delicious BK Big Fish Sandwich. 100% white Alaskan pollock, breaded with crispy panko, topped with sweet tartar sauce, tangy pickles on top of a warm toasted brioche bun. Also available, our Impossible Whopper, 100% Whopper, 0% beef. Enjoy your Lenten season with French fries or our new mozzarella sticks with a refreshing brewed, sweet, or unsweetened tea. We are ready to serve you this Lenten season. Now available at BK Hagåtña, Tubon Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Have an amazing day. You rule. Wait a second. I'm reading a story out of Hawaii because it's Tuesday. Remember Tuesdays?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Here's the headline. Honolulu rehab boss got a $500,000 salary and absconded to Colorado with Miss Hawaii.
Oh, that's how you do it.
Hey,
man.
Hey, that's right. In Colorado, and you know Colorado, right? I mean, there's places you can go to Colorado. They'll never find him. They'll never find him, except for the radiant beauty of Miss Hawaii. We're gonna have to find a way to camouflage that in the area. Hey, brother, how's it? More on this a little bit ago. I'm trying to find him. I'm just speed reading through this because I'm looking for the part where he's talking about where they're talking about him getting on an airplane and stiffing a whole bunch of his employees to the tune of about $500,000 over 2 years. And then
Dude, he had brain cancer, Ray.
Oh, right,
That's
right. Why. Evan sighting. 7:15 in the morning. Portions of the program brought to you by APL. American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, and Guam Regional Medical City. They are your healthcare partners.
Rediscover talk radio here. It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Federal Labor Department investigation found a prominent Honolulu drug rehab underpaid dozens of counselors, shorting them by hundreds of thousands of dollars. Many of the counselors, this is the way it works, or is supposed to work there, right? The courts say, all right, you got a meth problem, you go to Sand Island Treatment Center and get some help. We'll let you work there while you're making your way through all of these, getting rid of the drugs issues. So many of the counselors at the Sand Island Treatment Center had struggled with addiction and went through 2-year treatment programs themselves after being sent there by Hawaii courts. The nonprofit drug rehab underpaid 34 of these workers by about $452,000 over 2.5 years, according to a settlement. Almost 4 years ago, they found that Mason Henderson, the chief executive officer of Sand Island Treatment Center, got a salary of almost $500,000, far beyond what similar operations in Hawaii were paying their top administrators. The 34 employees were owed $347,000 in unpaid overtime, DOL said. 21 of them were also paid less than the minimum wage, and likewise owed $104,000 to meet that threshold. The violations occurred from 2019 right up until November of last year. For decades, the facility operated on public land near the Sand Island wastewater treatment plant, rent-free, no lease. The problem is, it was talking about absconding with the Miss Hawaii part, which got my attention.
Makes me want to relapse, Ray.
They're generally kind of pretty here. There might be more on this story a little bit later on. I'll have to take a look. There's some other stories that are floating around from Hawaii that are kind of interesting. I was hoping that they would be able to get past the food tax exemption. Because we've been talking about the same thing here. It comes up every once in a while when we say, government of Guam should not be making any money on groceries. And I've included that to groceries and medicine and baby stuff. Because, you need them. You gotta raise babies. You gotta buy formula. And formula, near as I can tell, if we did a 1-to-1 match on this stuff when it was all done, I think formula is probably more expensive than gasoline and printer ink. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just crazy, crazy expensive. And I don't know why we need to tax this kind of thing. Moms want to, be able to feed their children. I know what you're saying, La Leche League. But, the kids get used to the flavor of formula. The moms get used to the convenience of it. And so just whatever it is, let it be. But it says here, the proposal to end Hawaii's 4.5%, wow, it's only 4.5% tax on food and medicine has died in the legislature. There are still multiple tax relief bills still on the table, all involving the state's complicated income tax system. So even though lower income folks will be getting help, they may need help in filling out their tax forms in order to get the help. Tom Yamachika of the Tax Foundation of Hawaii said he was surprised to see those benefits would also be tied in the future to changes to the cost of living, quote, which is something that we've almost never seen before. I mean, it's been proposed before, but it's just never seen the light of day. At the Workers' Center, Alcubila said it would be up to the taxpayers to claim what they're entitled to. That's the big thing for us, to really organize the community, to let them know that there are resources out there to help them with their taxes. So an interesting conversation out there. It sounds like one of those things where just keep track of all of the groceries and the formula and the medicine that you buy, and there will be special places where you can take you get to make a claim against those in your state tax code, because they got two there.
You do your own taxes, Ray?
What's that?
Do you do your own taxes?
Computer, bud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do mine.
I'm
getting a $35,000 return.
Congratulations. That's the way to do that. And then lose Daphne Shimizu's number. It's encoded. So his phone rings in his Department of Revenue and Taxation. I'm sorry, there's no one here by that name.
Joe who?
Yeah, never heard of him. 7:19 on the Ray Gibson Show. We'll take time to take a look at what's going on in the markets today and see if there is still a financial system in the United States of America. So far, so good. Let's see here. The S&P 500 off by 5.8. It closed at 38.55. I got the NASDAQ up by 49.96. They picked up, they're at 11,188. Dow Jones Industrial Average drifting down by 100 points, 31,819 is where they ended up. Mixed closing in all the rest of the markets. You know, you got the FTSE down by almost 200. Nikkei in Japan off by 311. But that doesn't mean it's all bad news. In Hong Kong, up by 376. Shanghai up by 38. The VIX is up by almost 2, and the DAX dropped 468 points. So there's some must be weird economics going on around the round world. Big winner for the day is the NASDAQ. Illumina, CGen, Moderna, DocuSign, and PDD Holdings round out the top 5. Bottom 5 is Fiserv, Cognizant Technology, Marriott International, eBay. I was that close to saying Old Bay. Hey, Old Bay, how about that? What about Old Spice? Where are they in the markets? And Old Dominion rounds out the bottom 5 for the NASDAQ. You take a look at some of the commodities. I got gold at $1,918. That's up by... Is that right? Is that 51? Is that 51 bucks? Yeah, gold just shot up by $51 today. I might still be some people concerned about what's going on with that banking thing. That I tell you what, I got a sense of it. Gold. I got a sense of it yesterday after reading up on some things. But as Jerry Roberts pointed out yesterday, there's so many moving parts on this. And as I said, a lot of people waking up this morning wondering, okay, how did they do? Did everybody at SVB, was everybody able to go and get their money out of that? And then, of course, the big question is, after you pull your money out of that little bank, where do you put it? Where do you put it after that? Payroll at all kinds of places. Roblox. You know the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the deal is you go to the bank and the bank gives you a loan in exchange for which you throw all of your accounts there, payroll accounts, whatever, all your business accounts. So people like Roblox, I want to say what's the Blade, the long distance television thing that people get, Roku, whatever. Yeah. I think they've got their money in there as well, and because they were sweating out, what are we going to do about payroll when that comes up? All right, oil. If you're buying West Texas crude right now, it is $74.69. It was $74.50 about 6 o'clock this morning. And if you're buying Tapis crude, we all buy Tapis crude. For those of you that just got to Guam and are wondering how come he keeps mentioning this Singapore grade of fuel, because it's Tapis is the oil that then becomes refined. They ship it to Guam, one ship, and divvy all of that gas up between all of the gas stations, and then they figure out what the price is going to be. Now, I'm going to take a second here and tell you that I'm very, very pleased with where Tapis is. It is at $81.49. Now, last time we were talking about is like $85, $86, so it's down significantly. Do you remember what you were paying for gas right around January? $2.62. No. This last January, not one of the Januaries when Trump was the president. No, it is been that low. The last one was January, just a little bit ago, $81.49. And if I get motivated, I'll take a look and see what we were paying for gasoline at that time, because it's possible that the gas company at $81.49, if it stays over a couple of days, we might see a drop in the price of fuel at the pumps here on Guam. Going to Japan, 133.21 yen to the greenback. This combines very favorably with the news that came out of United over the weekend that they're having a fair sale, $455 buy between now and, what was it, the 19th of March, and then get to Japan for $455 anytime between now and the end of May. Great fair deal, and I'm sure that there's terms and restrictions that apply. Go to your United webpage to find out, but 133 yen, about the same as it was at Christmas time of this year. I'm sorry, last year. We got the peso at 55.16, pretty stable there, and the won at 12.96. And that, I wish it was. I wish they'd get more won in exchange for the greenback, because that would encourage more of these South Korean starlets in their Korean hot pants to come out to Guam and take pictures in front of Tea Galleria and the Dusatani. We'll see how it plays with 12.96. Keep an eye on Instagram. That's where they're posting all their pictures. 7:24 in the morning. Jerry Roberts is in the studio. Jerry Roberts, what do you make of the banking business here this morning? I know you pay attention. Which is my way of saying I'm not really paying attention right now. All hell apparently has not broken loose. Otherwise, Twitter would have said so.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Interesting. Depends if you're looking for the conspiracy theorists. Then,
yes, then hit me with one now.
Then the sky is falling.
Okay. Government takeover of these banks.
Government takeover, and that means that the CBDC, which is the digital coin the feds are pushing now and testing,
has got
that
now.
That means they are very close to doing all that, and it means they're going to be exchanging.
They got a storefront,
greenbacks for coins. Probably get a premium. They'll give you a little bit of enticement to swap in your dollars. And then they will control you completely, and you will either bend to their will or you're done for.
I thought that was where this was going.
That's kind of the conspiracy theorist side of things. On the other side of things, the bankers kind of were a little fast and loose with money and made some bad decisions. Plus the issue of the Fed raising rates and the bankers buying T-bills and getting squeezed in between those things. All of a sudden, they didn't know what to do. And they lost a lot of money.
So what you're saying here is I could be a banker with no experience required.
Apparently,
not a whole lot by way of guardrails to totally ensure the safety of my depositors' accounts.
It's kind of like 2006 and 2007 and all the subprime stuff that was going on. The bankers learned two lessons. Okay. One, they didn't learn any lessons at all.
Right. Because the government bailed everybody out.
Because, and because they thought that lesson number two is the feds will come in and pump you back up again. And
which the Fed is trying really, really hard not to make it look like they're doing.
And it's only about 3 to 6 months before you can begin doing stupid things again and paying bonuses and things to the people who put the bank in the precarious position it is today. So that's kind of what they thought was going to happen. And the feds are saying, "Whoa, no, that's not going to happen this time."
We're not using. Don't you say the B word, because it irritates taxpayers, and we don't need to irritate them anymore. What with all of the financial disasters across the country, and the rate of inflation, and the idea that we continue to send billions of dollars to the 51st state, which is the Ukraine. Yeah, so we don't need to do that. Now I got this from the mail. Keith, who is the meme machine playboy, sent this in this morning, and so there's bad policy, bad fiscal policy, and bad fiscal discipline going on. But then there's also this: the Silicon Valley Bank did not have a head of risk assessment for 9 months before everything fell apart, as woke boss for Europe, Middle East, and Africa was busy organizing a month-long pride campaign and a lesbian visibility day. Now, I'm not saying that those are bad things. I'm just saying that's not in the banking wheelhouse.
It's not your primary job.
Yeah. This has nothing to do with preserving the value of
risk assessment, and you're off doing those things.
Yeah. So tricky time there, and maybe there'll be some more of that. People got to get out of the woke business and just go back to work, for heaven's sakes. It's 7:27. Jerry Roberts.
Woke, all work.
Who's doing that?
I don't know. You just said that. I said
go
back to work.
Get out of the woke business.
And I'm just saying,
just get the job done. We don't have to have debates.
No woke, all work.
Thank you.
I'm summarizing.
Mr. Musk. All right, Jerry Roberts has got this morning's Extra Point. It's being brought to you by people that know how to run a bank. It's First Hawaiian Bank. Jerry?
If you're in the workforce long enough, you'll work for a number of organizational leaders. If you're fortunate, there will be one or two you'll remember for being strong. Some will give you little to remember them for, and a few will be memorable for being weak. Today we start a conversation on what it means when we have a weak leader. That's coming next on The Extra Point.
Fly even higher and get to your destination with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. You can earn 40,000 miles with $2,000 worth of spending within the first 3 months. That's 40,000 reasons to get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Certain restrictions apply. To learn more about this offer, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Hafaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
So let's begin our exploration of weak leadership by talking about the problems that can cause. Number one, lack of direction. Weak leaders likely lack a clear vision or strategy, which can lead to confusion and uncertainty among followers. No inspiration. Motivation and excitement will be missing. Poor decision-making. Decisions may be based on a combination of bad judgment, self-interest, and avoiding tough issues. If so, the group will lose confidence quickly. No accountability. Weak leaders may not hold anyone accountable, and that includes themselves. Without establishing expectations and consequences for delivering on them, it'll be difficult for any organization to perform well. You can add a couple of more to the list. Weak leaders are change resistant. To them, change is scary and to be avoided. One more mark of a weak leader is they'll spread low morale everywhere they go. When you look at this, it's not a pretty picture. Weak leaders can create a number of troubling issues for the people who toil on their teams. We live in Guam, and the challenge is going to be different depending on whether you work for Guam, the private sector, civil service, or you're in the military. There's not enough time to dig into all of those possibilities, so we'll offer 3 options that will hopefully be of help to everyone impacted by a weak leader. Option 1, you can leave. Other than military folks, you can resign your position and look for something else. You might also be able to transfer out to another job if one is available. Other than director positions in the government of Guam, which are politically oriented hires, a weak leader may be locked into their position for a long time, to the detriment of the workers in their unit. As for the private sector, most employers here are family-owned companies. Sometimes that means the founder retires and a relative, most of the time the owner's child, will take over and may not be the same level of leader the parent was. So, in each case, what do? Do you go or do you stay? If you stay, all may not be lost. Let's explore a few ways to help this leader, assuming they may have some awareness that they need it and are open to it. Option 2, where they end, you and your team begin. Does the leader not communicate well? Then you step in and give the information and clarity that is required. Is the leader incapable of making good, timely decisions? Or they just step back and step away from doing it? You offer to make decisions for the issues concerning your work. Or you set the table for the leader by giving them detailed explanations on the options, plus your recommendations. That'll make it easier for them. In a reverse mentoring capacity, if you will, when things go right, and even if it was you who really made the decision, you congratulate the leader and explain that what they did led to something good. Maybe they'll learn something in the process. Encourage your leader to collaborate more. Doing so will help them gain new perspectives and ideas, which can also help build their confidence. I said this works if the leader is open to it. If that's not the case, the strategy will be a tough sell. The other thing is to know that you may end up doing a lot of the work you hadn't counted on doing, and you may not get any official credit for it. Your satisfaction will have come from doing your part to help the whole team succeed, or at least keeping things going. At least your team will know what you did. Then there's option 3. Do nothing. Just ride it out and count the days, weeks, months, and years until retirement or whatever. I don't think it's a viable option, but far too many people choose it. I've seen weak leaders firsthand. It's no fun. That being said, unless you take the initial option and walk out the door, I believe you and your coworkers need to step up and do what you can to help everybody. More on this topic tomorrow. That's the Extra Point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank, I'm Jerry Roberts.
Anybody watch the Oscars? Anybody track the Oscars winners? Any of that?
I saw a couple of clips about it.
Jamie Lee Curtis won, Ray. Come on, man.
I saw that.
It's about time.
Thank you very much. all the years as the Scream Queen has finally paid off. Do you know the name of the movie that she won it for?
No.
Nobody knows. Nobody. It wasn't Top Gun, so never mind. It wasn't Avatar.
Everywhere, all at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once, right?
I think that one got all the big nods. Wasn't
that what she was in?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
I don't know.
It wasn't Top Gun.
It wasn't Top Gun. No. You know Ed Lee? Ed Lee from TV-14 back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Worked for NASA and all those stuff,
Sure.
or RCA or whoever it was, tracking satellites and tracking spaceships and stuff over the years.
Yeah.
Ed Lee was a part of an outfit called TV-14 before it was sold off to Sorensen back in the day.
He used to do a television show there.
Right. Okay. So, you did?
You did.
I did, yeah. Okay.
You interviewed me once. It was a slow night.
I thought maybe. Yeah, I did. He did too. I didn't remember. So, anyway. So Ed Lee calls me up one day. I'm living in L.A. at the time. I had left Guam for San Francisco, went down to L.A. He gives a call and says, we're coming into town, and we're going to the Century Plaza Hotel, which is in the middle of Beverly Hills type area. And it's the ABC annual something or other get-together. They took over the entire property, right? And
It's back when the networks had money.
Back when the networks had money. And all the stars were going to be there from their shows. Now, I have no idea what show she was in, but among all the stars and the starlets who were there was Jamie Lee Curtis, and had a chance to talk with her. She was like standing like all alone. I mean, all these people were gathered around these young starlets, and here's Jamie Lee, probably in her, at that time, probably in her early 30s, and she was wearing this skimpy black dress. And just standing there, and a person here or there talking with her. She was about as real as a person could be in Hollywood.
Huh.
Seriously.
Well, I mean, because you grew up in Hollywood.
She grew up, Tony Curtis, Janet Leigh were the parents, and she'd been there for 1,000 years, and she was kind of a wacky person. And we just sat kind of talk with her. And she was just a real, genuine individual.
Looking to see what she might have been in the 1970s. I'm getting all kinds of weird responses from the googly thing here to see if she might have been in something. There was a show called Scream Queens, but that was in 2015. You're talking about something that was taking place sometime in the 90s,
the late 80s.
Anything But Love was the name of the show from 1989 to 1992. So yeah, she's got some television stripes with a kind of a goofy-looking guy, and a couple of bit pieces in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, and a couple of other things that I've never heard of. So there you go. And as recently as 2003 on NCIS. So not bad, not
she
bad.
Had great eyes, Ray.
Yes, I know. There's that scene in Trading Places that I'll never ever forget. 7:37 in the morning. But yeah, she's kind of a big deal in the Oscars last night. I did have kind of a send up on it, and I want to say the big deal here for children of the 1980s is the kid that played Data on the Goonies.
Oh yeah, the booby
short
trap
round.
guy.
Yeah, the short round in the what's his name movie?
The booty traps.
Him. Yeah, he apparently won something big, and I don't know whether it was for producing or whether it had acted in all of that. But the big deal is there's pictures that are floating around the internet of him hugging Harrison Ford.
Oh, he was in Temple of Doom.
He was the Chinese kid in Temple of Doom. Yeah. And so it was a picture of those two when he was a kid, and then a recent picture, might have been last night, of him getting a hug from Harrison Ford.
Nice.
in the deal. So, so I want to kind of look that up a little bit more.
A little piece of trivia before you go to the news, before I bail out.
Thanks for reminding me. I forgot we were going to news after this.
Brendan Fraser won for Best Actor, right?
For The Whale.
For The Whale.
Yeah.
And who won I think the guy that won for the Best Supporting Actor? Okay. The thing about that is both of those guys were in a movie 1,000 years ago called Encino Man.
Oh, I remember that.
Right? It just shows when
Yeah.
you're in an
Cinematic
absolute
masterpiece
disaster.
that movie
right?
was.
When you're in something like that, right? And you think your career is over or going nowhere, and then all of a sudden, fast forward a few decades, and you get the Best Actor award, and the other guy gets the Best Supporting Actor.
All you got to do is put on an extra 60 pounds, I think is what he did to get ready for that role. 7:38 in the morning. And some of you are going, wait. We're talking about the same Brendan Fraser that was in The Mummy, same guy that was in Tarzan. Now, was it Tarzan or... George of the Jungle.
Watch out for that tree.
In 20 minutes, it'll be 8 o'clock in the morning. Might as well get some headlines in here brought to you by the guys over at Burger King. And tomorrow is Guaiza y Whopper. It's changing things up for tomorrow day. Same great Whopper, same way to get another one for nothing. And so check that out at BKU Rule. Also being brought to you by the folks over at Hoffaday Realty. 588-4232 is their telephone number. They got an email because, it's 2023. Everybody's got it. And HoffadayRealty@gmail.com. If you want to reach out that way, send a picture, send a pin on whatever it is that you're looking at, and maybe they can help you buy it. It's 7:39 now with news and headlines. Here's Donna D.
GMH's computer network has been hacked, prompting a system shutdown earlier this month. Officials say no unauthorized access was detected to patient health information and employee databases, but the network was shut down as a precautionary measure. GMH's phone lines and email system are being restored, and the remaining network and systems are expected to be fully restored soon. There's no word on who hacked into the system or how they got access. And the Defense Department is expected to spend $8 billion to relocate Marines from Okinawa to Guam, and local leaders want to ensure that defense contractors are paying the proper taxes. An OPA audit found that Guam could be losing out on as much as $22 million. Public Auditor BJ Cruz adds that Reven Tax needs to do some audits, and it's difficult to estimate how much more in taxes are being lost. And the Dedito Pool is expected to open soon. It has been closed since the pandemic due to poor water quality, but Parks and Rec Acting Director Warren Pelletier says the pool is now running perfectly and should be ready to open by this summer. He adds that the gates will remain locked until more equipment is installed by the contractor and the facility is certified by Public Health. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
I'm sorry, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. The thing is there. It works. The little kids pass by all the time. Mommy, I want to have my birthday party there. I want to have my party over in that pool, Mommy. Can I? And Mommy said, no, because you're not born after Taurus. Sorry, we have to wait until then. And there's a whole. If it's working, it's working. What do we got? There's some new regulation now. They want to make sure that they can turn the entire volume of the water over in 6 hours as opposed to 24 hours. Okay, I can see that and I can understand that. Are all of the swimming pools on Guam meeting that current standard? Or some have been, they've been grandfathered into this status. So if it's not as though this is a brand new pool that we're putting together. In my mind, this one ought to have been grandfathered to the state that it was in when they first built it, and the rules and regulations that were there when they first built it. And if you've got any serious problems in it, you just do what the regular pool guys do. Put more chlorine in there. They'll kill whatever the germs are that are going to make the kids sick. As long as they don't poo in it, they'll be fine. 7:42, Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. Maybe we'll spend some time over on the, quote, hack that took place over at the Guam Memorial Hospital. And here's the problem I think a lot of people are having with this is we found out from Candid. Because Candid got a copy of some audio from a meeting that took place over at Guam Memorial Hospital and went with that story. It has only been in the last 24 hours picked up by anybody else, and in the last 12 hours, I think, responded to by the people over at Guam Memorial Hospital, which is now they're coming out saying we've secured the patient health information, as opposed to we had a hack and we took some immediate steps to take care of it. Didn't have time to call Joanne Brown, but thanks very much to Candid for breaking that that story. What's left in there? What do we need to worry about? I don't know that that's part of the conversation just yet. It's 7:43 in the Ray Gibson Show. More stuff on the way.
KFC's $5 breakfast deals are the best and most affordable ways to start your day. The Colonel's Chicken and Rice Bowl, $5. Chicken fried steak, $5. Sausage, biscuit, and gravy, $5. And they all come with a fresh coffee. KFC $5 breakfast deals are served starting at 6 a.m. daily at your favorite KFC restaurant. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Since 1997, Island Eye Institute has been committed to your family's eye care needs. From its beginnings, Island Eye Institute has recognized the value in incorporating state-of-the-art technology into personalized care and a commitment to excellence. As Guam's complete eye center, our specialists offer their expertise in glaucoma, retina, cornea, LASIK, cataract, and diabetic eye disease. Island Eye accepts Select Care, Net Care, Take Care, and Stay Well. Call us at 637-2020 to schedule your appointment today. We're located on the second floor of the Baltesh Pavilion in Tahoe.
Gibson Show portion is brought to you by the guys over at Beyond the Box. And, I was talking with Felice, and I said, do you have this? She said, yeah. Do you have this? She said, yeah. You have that? She said, yeah. The shipments have all come in from the Apple companies. They're all there, including, you're going to love the price on this. So I've always wanted to get one of these things. And I might just bite the bullet, right? I might just bite the bullet on a brand new, under $800, just under $800, but under $800 for a Mac Mini. One of these little things that really all you got to do is hook up your Bluetoothy keyboard and your mouse, and then you put the HDMI in the back of it, and then you can, whatever monitor you want to use for your Mac monitor, you can. And you ain't going to pay a whole lot of money for it. The drive is exactly the right size for what I've got to take care of, considering everything else in the world is on the cloud. Unhackable like GMH. But if you want more information on that, and they've got them in bigger sizes as well, check out Beyond the Box at the Micronesia Mall. Let's see now, which window did I want to open? That one here, because that's where the traffic is. See if there's anything going on here today. I wonder if we're going to have Carmageddon like we had yesterday. That was kind of ugly. That's the fire scene that took place in East Agania yesterday. Oh, yeah. Ugly traffic, mostly northbound, 3 lanes trying to merge into one. And then we've got 2 lanes for the southbound, but everything got cleared up. By the time I was driving around in that area about lunchtime yesterday, everything had been cleared up. Hell, I couldn't even find which building had caught fire. All right, so here's what we got for you. Southbound Marine Corps Drive, Ipao to Waisangsong, running busy. Heavier intersection traffic all up around the Dededo and Upper Tumon area, especially the intersection of 1 and 3. I think people going slow as they pass by Ukadu because everybody wants to get a good glimpse of Optimus Prim while he's up there. 8, 10, and 16, ugly from the Untalan Middle School all the way up past Wendy's, all the way to the intersection. Very, very slow traffic on the northbound lane that's trying to get into Route 8. Not sure exactly what's going on. You are going to see some issues on Waisangsong. I'm sorry, not Waisangsong. Where's that? Leche Macheche. So watch out for that. Looking to see if there's anywhere else that we're going to run into problems besides 8, 10, and 16. Not really. It's all the usual here. Dogging out traffic on Route 8, Route 4. Likewise, you're going to see some spots where things are moving fairly slow. And then even this. What's going on Route... where's that? All kind of turned around here. It's Telepago Ordot. There's the intersection 10 and 4, and then we've got some traffic over by Cross Island Road as well, just south, just a little bit north of that. Watch out for it. Maybe that's the Toyota traffic by the bridge. 888-8255-797 if you've got imagery that you can send out. We'll put that in the meme machine. Stand by now. 7:46 on the point.
After a long wait, the biggest, juiciest, most flavorful chicken makes its return. The Circle K 3-pound rotisserie chicken is back. Get 3 whole pounds of perfectly seasoned chicken for all your family feasts. And for a limited time, pick up a rotisserie chicken and a Pepsi Family 2-liter soda, the perfect dinner combo, for only $19.95. Available at select Circle K stores. Swing by and take yours home today. Circle K, take it easy.
Every company needs money to grow and take on the challenges 2023 will bring.
That's why Bank Pacific's commercial loan officers stand ready to help you.
We offer several programs tailored to assist companies to get to the next step or perhaps for a startup,
including working with SBA or GITA.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches.
Bank Pacific.
We want to be your partner.
Equal opportunity lender. Member FDIC.
Credit conditions apply.
Right on 747, a lot to get to between here and 8 o'clock, so I'm going to move it now. Online meme machine, thanks very much for all the memes that are coming in this morning. Some real funny stuff that is out there, and just kind of, eye-rolling statements that people make. All right, so 12 minutes away from the top of the hour. Elizabeth on trash pickup in a second, but I do got to get this online and get the explains on what's going on down in beautiful Molesso about this time. Well, I don't know. That's debatable, isn't it? When exactly the Crab Festival is supposed to be taking place, because I got a word from Peter Santos that it's usually late in April that we do the Crab Festival down at the Guput Chamorro that takes place. Mayor Ernie Chargaloff from the beautiful village of Molesso online here this morning, and if you could explain what happened. Why was the Crab Festival canceled? It was originally going to be on this weekend, and now we pushed it to the end of April.
Hi.
Buenas.
Yes. Good morning, buenas. Yes, we had originally scheduled the Crab Festival for March 17, 18, and 19, which is this weekend. However, all my vendors, I've already had my vendors in line. However, I was not able to secure the alcohol license, the beer license. And I didn't want to go through the program without alcohol because those people are not going to enjoy themselves. It's like having a party without booze. And, it's going to be fun for others while they're going to dread people will be thugging their coolers behind them. And I just, it's best to set it back so that I wasn't able to meet the deadline on the open government law and the submission of my application. There are certain deadlines that has to be met.
So the alcohol and beverage could not make an exemption?
Well, the ABC board does not convene until the 15th. And you have it has to receive because they have to publicize the agenda for one and those that are making the applications.
I've seen the agenda that they've got, and the Molesso Guput Chamorro is not on it.
Yes, that is why I wasn't able to be on there. So I was kind of disheartened because I was really looking forward to that. And this is the first time that in the past there wasn't no requirement. Like 3-4 days before the event, that's when I submitted my beer application. I was able to be given, and that was before the board meeting, only a day or two prior to their meetings. But I think there are new changes in the requirements for the under the open government law. So I had to decide that it's best that I just selected because I cannot go to April 21st because that is the Molesso San Dimas Fiesta, and the next meeting for the ABC board is on the 19th of April, and I didn't want to go into April 21st because that is the Molesso San Dimas Fiesta. I don't want the San Dimas Fiesta plus the Crab Festival ongoing at the same time.
Well, it does mean, though, that you've got more time to plan and add more to the event and send the boys out and grab as many more crabs as you can off the beach and get those staged and ready to go. And, people got more time to prepare for the competitions and the food vending and all the other things that make the Crab Festival such a memorable event.
Yes, yes, I know we will have more crabs to, because I'm going to buy whatever crabs my crab hunters can muster up. But the thing is, like I said, it wouldn't be a party without booze, and it wouldn't be fun for those that don't have beer available on the premises.
Well, and of course, all beer sales, all of the proceeds from the beer sales go to island beautification. I'm kidding. That might not be right. I'm just making that up just because if I go all the way down there, I'm going to want some beer.
Yes, exactly. And I know I just have to, the property changes only the dates. The only thing that I would like to emphasize is that when we first ran this program, the Crab Festival was an infusion or an addition to the Guput Chamorro. We ran this to commemorate and perpetuate the month of March as the Chamorro month. But there's things that we can't control, so it's still it's still commemorating the perpetuating the culture. We're known as a crab capital of Guam.
Amen to that. Well, so that's the reason. There were a couple other things floating around. I thought maybe we're still in Lent, and Paulie said no, we got to wait until after Easter, but that's already on the 9th. So I got you. So it came down to that, and you've already made the announcement now that it has been postponed until late April. So anything else that you need to get the word out, by all means, Mayor, give me a call, and I'll be happy to help you with the publicity.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that we are able to inform the public so they don't have to come down here unnecessarily only to find out that, oh my God, I didn't know it was canceled, man, it was postponed.
But just go down anyway. Just go down this weekend anyway. It's going to be beautiful. Yeah. Gas is only $4.95 a gallon. Just go have a good time.
Yes, at least I'm going to reach out to my crab hunters and continue on. What I do, Ray, is I always advance them. These guys, they need batteries to go hunting for the crabs. So at times, my council and we advance the money for them to be able to continue catching the crabs. So, anyways, every time I advance them, they're good for it.
I'm sure.
As long as we have the crabs, this is a very good event. I equate it to the run of the bulls in Spain. Everybody running around trying to avoid getting gored by the bulls.
Yes.
Over here, they're spinning around the path trying to avoid getting bit.
Love it.
And sometimes you see flying crabs because in reaction when they get bit, they pull away and the crab goes flying in the air.
It makes them taste better, if you ask me. That rush of adrenaline. 7:54, Mayor. I appreciate your time here this morning, and like I said, we are at your service.
Thank you.
All right, Migo. 888-825-5888-TALK. The man's got his priorities in place. Now, there are going to be some people that would be critical. Teetotalers, you know who you are. They're postponing the event just because it won't have any alcohol. You can't go 3 days without beer? Is that what you're saying? No.
It's a celebration.
Biba. Yeah. That's what it means. So that's what's going on, and I appreciate him saying it is because it is exactly as it is, and we want to have a good time, and it's easier for people to have a good time maybe if they're lubricated with a little bit of the nectar of the gods, if you will, and some of you might actually need that if you are going to participate in the crab catching competition. This is not for the faint of heart, and if you've ever seen,
You ever catch crabs, Ray?
Not intentionally, but there was a guy that Public Health one year that said maybe I got a brush, with it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
It's all right. I got you. This is another reason why they need the booze. Crab joke. 7:56. Ray Gibson Show. 888-825-5888-TALK. You know who's coming in next hour?
Don't say it 3 times.
Peter Santos. We've got lined up. Well, they reached out. Folks over at the public.
Pro bono?
Coming in?
Yeah.
No, he's coming in to serve you. Is what he's coming in to do.
Yeah.
But we got reached out from the folks over at the public defender's office. And they said, listen, we'd like to get on the radio. Okay, all right, fine. So Peter Santos is going to be coming in, and Stephen Hattori will be coming in as well.
I like that guy.
Well, what's the last time?
Not that I don't like Peter Santos.
When was the last time that we talked? Well, I'm just wondering, okay, it's going to be, this is what you need to know about the Public Defender's Office, and here's our phone number, here's our website, this is how you follow us on Instagram. And Doug Moylan.
Take the plea deal.
Take
the plea deal.
Hammering Doug Moylan. So, Doug, you might want to be tuned in right around that time, find out what's going to be happening. We were going to have a visit from Guam Regional Medical City. They wanted Eric and everybody wanted to come by and have a few nurses on the program. And then they said, wait a second, we're going to put nurses in front of Ray Gibson?
Danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah,
danger.
Let's reschedule this for another time. Let's regroup and think about what needs to take place. But at least nobody's hacking into their patient record system, huh? How about that? Do we want to spend a couple of minutes here? GMHA secures patient health information. Never, because I didn't. If there was a press release that said that there were security issues over patient health information, that didn't come from GMH. It didn't come from the director or Cindy or anybody.
Really?
No. We found out there was an issue at GMH from Candid.
That's right. Thank you, Candid.
Right. And then I think Joanne Brown would say the same thing. Going, wait a second, I'm the co-chair of the committee. You could have called me. You know, maybe there were some things that we could do here over at the legislature. Hey, we got an IT guy. I got an IT guy. I got WhatsApp on my phone and my computer. I could have come down and helped you. We got a team viewer this from our IT guy over at the legislature.
So our information's safe now, right?
Was it ever?
I don't know.
Because it just says that they secured.
It
just says they secured the patient information, and not a whole lot on when it might have been at issue, or this is just when we found out about it. This could have been going back to since forever. They determined that an unauthorized access had been made to the GMHA network. They immediately contacted the Federal Bureau of Investigation and Guam Homeland Security, though no unauthorized access was detected to the patient health information and employee databases. On March 4th, GMHA shut down the network as a precautionary measure. This is one of the other parts that has got the people over at outside of GMH going, okay, so then what did you use? If you didn't use, and I'm sure they've got this one clunky thing that was made with Google Docs for patient information. I'm just wondering, what did you use then, since your network was shut down? Inquiring minds want to know. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody was already starting to bang the drum on an oversight hearing over at the legislature over their IT issues, etc. And the other question that I have is how are we coming along? Because I thought there was a significant amount of spend that came out of ARP money that was supposed to go to GMH for an employee records or a patient record system. And I want to say that there was a press release that came out about that, but nothing since. So where are we on the procurement and the installation and the rollout of that device? And then the information, hopefully, that would make it so that GMH could bill better with the insurance companies and people, maybe even pay their vendors faster. I don't know. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Radio stations, KUSG, Ganya, they say we're Pika's best. No, I will have a sign that proves it before too much longer. Ari, where's my sign? Stand by now. It's time for Fox News on The Point.
A federal takeover. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Biden trying to calm fears after the failure of two large banks over the past several days.
The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation is now calling shots at both Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, both which came up short and couldn't pay depositors. President Biden says those depositors will be made whole.
No losses will be borne by the taxpayers. Instead, the money will come from the fees that banks pay into the Deposit Insurance Fund.
Though the FDIC insures only $250,000, some customers had millions on deposit at these institutions. Eben Brown, Fox News.
Bank stocks tumbled following the failures. The major indexes ended the day mixed. The Dow off 90 points, the Nasdaq plus 49, the S&P minus 5. The Biden administration has approved a major oil drilling project in Alaska, though it has been scaled down.
It's not the full Willow project that ConocoPhillips initially proposed, but the green light for those 3 drill sites, the company has said, is enough to make the project financially viable. And that's why ConocoPhillips CEO calls the approval, quote, the right decision for Alaska and our nation. It's also a win for Alaska's bipartisan congressional delegation. They say it's a step toward greater energy independence, and that'll it'll create hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs.
Grady Trimble with Fox Business. Environmentalists say it flies in the face of the president's pledges, breaking his campaign promise to stop new oil drilling on public lands. Life in prison without parole for Saifulo Saipov, the man convicted in January of ramming a truck into 8 people on a New York City bike path in 2017. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell has been released from the hospital after he failed a Washington, D.C. hotel last week. His office says he'll recover at an inpatient facility. America is listening to Fox News.
Guam Regional Medical City is the center of excellence for general and minimally invasive surgeries like colonoscopy, dialysis and vascular access, gallbladder, skin and soft tissue, gastrointestinal tract, hernia repair, spleen, select liver and pancreas diseases, upper endoscopy, and more. Schedule your appointment with GRMC today by calling 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
March Madness Month at GTA. That means big discounts and awesome giveaways. Come into GTA today and get the all-new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra with a 200 megapixel camera and advanced photography. Your selfies will look amazing day or night. Purchase a Samsung Galaxy S23 series smartphone and get on our best unlimited plan for as low as $65 a month. Plus get a free $200 Payless gift card when you open a new line. Terms and conditions apply. Offer good while supplies last. Smartphone month at GTA. We start with you.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott is taking action to deal with the rise of illegal street racers.
This just isn't a Texas problem. Other states are experiencing this as well. It started during the pandemic, law enforcement says, but it hasn't shown any signs of stopping. The problem has gotten so bad that police forces here in Texas created many of their own street racing task force to deal with this prior to Governor Abbott creating the statewide task force and announcing that recently, which just adds additional resources to the problem. The DA says Harris County has some 850 pending cases for street racing and reckless driving alone.
Fox's Casey Steele in Harris County, the Houston metro area, about 200 illegal street racing cars have been seized. A reported threat on board a United Airlines flight triggers a massive response in Vermont.
Passengers on board a United Airlines flight from Newark, New Jersey to Vermont experiencing a turbulent end to their trip Sunday. According to local reports, the pilot was notified of a threatening note found in the bathroom of the plane shortly before landing at Burlington International Airport in Vermont. That's where a bomb squad, complete with police canines, boarded the plane. The 65 passengers were then held for some 2 hours in the cabin before being allowed to leave, but without their belongings, which they weren't allowed to touch. Authorities who searched the plane said they found nothing suspicious. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
A Nebraska school district has agreed to pay $1 million to the family of an 8th grader who died after eating a granola bar given to him by a teacher. The father of 14-year-old Jagger Shaw said in a Facebook post the teacher at Liberty Middle School offered him the bar after he said asked to go to the office for a snack, and he developed what appeared to be an allergic reaction. He was taken to the hospital, but he later died. I'm Lee Silasara. This is Fox News.
Fly even higher and get to your destination with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. You can earn 40,000 miles with $2,000 worth of spending within the first 3 months. That's 40,000 reasons to get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Certain restrictions apply. To learn more about this offer, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Join us at Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro and see why they've been crowned Guam's best Chamorro food restaurant for 9 consecutive years. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus tinactac, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet burgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña location from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. for dinner, or 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for their famous Sunday brunch.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, easy, and secure. Visit nambo.com for more information.
Half a day, it's 8:06. I'm Donna De Jesus with a look at your local news on The Point. Speaker Therese Terlahi responded to Governor Lulian Guerrero, who stated that GovGuam is now at a point in which it is able to sign a lease for the Eagles Field area of Manila, where the medical campus is proposed to be built. In response, the speaker pointed to a 2021 letter from former Secretary of the Navy Kenneth Braithwaite, in which 102 acres from the Anderson-Barragata Annex were identified for the medical complex were to be part of the net negative inventory. The governor later said the lands are still in the federal assets inventory and would not be excess land returned to GovGuam. Terlahi noted that Braithwaite agreed to put those properties on the list of excess lands for return to GovGuam. The speaker said in a release, the only one trying to mislead the public are those denying this letter exists and those making deals behind the public's back. And a recent OPA audit found inadequate process and review of GRT BPT filings and exemptions claimed, and a lack of clarity for procedures in pursuing unpaid or delinquent taxes for contractors working on military contracts. The audit states the lack of information on actual contract payments, insufficient exemption documentation, lack of exemptions post-reviews, and periodic audits pose challenges in determining a fair estimate of a contractor's potential unreported or underreported taxable gross receipts. Revenue Tax has established a Tax Enforcement Division Compliance Initiative program for federal contractors. The OPA stated that the initiative began 16 days after the audit began, but Revenue Tax responded that the first phase began prior to June 2021. The OPA found the program has found 78% filing compliance. Revenue Tax has said that it has reached out to federal partners to assist with obtaining information as recommended. More news after this.
Go green, go hybrid, go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
The Navy is set to open the new Branch Health Clinic at Pearl Harbor on Naval Base Guam next week, expanding its healthcare systems for service members in preparation for the anticipated increase in military population resulting from the Marines' relocation. The one-stop clinic will cater to active duty and retired service members and their families and will offer expanded primary care services, dental, medical readiness, physical therapy, optometry, hearing conservation, radiology, pharmacy, and laboratory services. Branch Health Clinic at Pearl Harbor was completed in December last year and will open on March 22. A ribbon-cutting ceremony will be held on April 25. The Department of Defense will relocate 5,000 Marines and 1,300 dependents from Okinawa to Guam beginning in 2025. And United Airlines is launching a 55th anniversary fare sale on its direct routes to Japan from Guam and Saipan. The special fare offers basic economy tickets starting at $455 to commemorate United's 55 years of service in Guam and Micronesia. Guam customers can book the special fare immediately for all routes between Guam and Tokyo, Nagoya, Osaka, and Fukuoka. Saipan can book travel to Narita, which flies 3 times weekly. The anniversary fare is available for booking now through this Sunday, March 19, for travel between March 10 and May 31, 2023, and is valid for a weekday travel for 21 days maximum stay. United's managing director of airport operations, Sam Shunhara, says this season is the best time to visit Japan for cherry blossoms and ideal weather. And those were your top stories. Now back to Ray with weather.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Yeah. Is the movie. Did it ever come to Guam?
I think so.
Joe?
No, I don't think so. I didn't hear about it.
I don't.
Oh, I saw it on streaming.
Oh, they have it in the streaming
I think
thing.
they did, or unless that was just a
Kind of
preview. But I heard
describes
about
this
it. I don't know, dude.
I just want to sort everything out because it's one of those things. So I watched Top Gun. And I watched Elvis, and I thought they were great movies, and I think they were Oscar contenders. I know that there was a whole lot of a push, and there were many people that were talking about, how the new Avatar sequel was supposed to be some kind of grand whatever, it's going to be a great resurgence, and this is going to be happily accepted by the Oscar community, and whatever. And it not. I don't know if those three won anything. I don't know. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once has 7 Oscars, including Best Picture. The movie, they say, broke new ground for Asian representation in Hollywood. And as I said, I haven't seen it, so I don't know, who's supposed to feel guilty as you watch this movie. Michelle Yeoh became the first self-identified actress of Asian descent to win Best Actress. Is there a reason why we have to suggest that they are self-identified actresses of Asian descent?
I read about this.
Could you not just look at her and go, hey, you're an Asian, aren't you?
Because I think it was one of those things where back then, even if you're an Asian actor, you didn't call yourself Asian.
What?
Something like that. Like you're still like American
Orientals.
or something like that. I was just talking about that yesterday. Something like that.
Reparations, Ray.
I don't know.
Reparations.
It's such a little.
We have to self-identify ourselves. Is that where we've come to now? Is that I just don't get it. You look at somebody and they've got, and I hate to profile, but hey, look, Mexico eyes. There's probably a 90% chance that they're from around this part of the world here. We refer to them sometimes as Asians, and Asians don't Asian.
Yeah.
So they look the same. They look gorgeous and beautiful and young forever. Yes.
People love the noodles.
All right, this is going to be triggering somebody. God, I hope it's triggering somebody. So here's the question that I have. It's just a language. The first self-identified actress of Asian descent or Asian descent to win a Best Actress. Does that mean that anybody else that has won accolades and awards doesn't really count because they didn't step up in front and say, I'm an Asian? I am Chinese, or I am Japanese, or I'm Koreanese.
Yeah, I think that article that I read, that somebody who was Asian won some sort of award, but they didn't count as the first Asian because they didn't identify as Asian. They were American.
Oh, God, these people
Something
in
like
Hollywood
that.
just give me a headache.
I don't know. It was really confusing. I'm like, why am I even reading this?
Yeah. I think maybe the less is said about that. But congratulations, Daniel Kwan, Daniel Shennert, known as the Daniels. Both took director and best original screenplay for everything. One of the actors that I'm going to name here, Ki Hyo Kwan. So it's either him or Daniel or whatever that might have been Data. I don't know which one Data was in the Goonies. I can never remember his name. Did he have to self-identify as an Asian? Because he played one in the Goonies. Okay, all right. Last question on the subject. Are Filipinos Asian?
That's like, depends on who you ask, right? Because some will say, no, we're not Asian, we're Malay. And then others will say, oh, but we're here, so we're Asian.
Right.
So, I don't
But
know.
what about the Chinese Filipinos?
Chinito.
Yeah, the rich ones.
I just want to know. I just want to know what flag to fly, guys. 888-8255-888-TALK. All right, time for our last look at news and headline. Were there any Asians in Wakanda?
No.
Partly sunny today. Highs near 87 degrees, east-northeast winds 8 to 11 miles an hour. Might have some isolated showers in the forecast today. Expect partly cloudy skies tonight and overnight lows of about 76 degrees. But the fun stuff, the sexy stuff, the let's abandon work and go to the beach stuff tomorrow. Mostly sunny. Highs near 87 degrees. Not a whole lot of wind, maybe 9 to 15 miles an hour. It's a perfect, strolling wind. You're never going to get hot and sweaty. Partly cloudy tomorrow night. On Thursday, mostly sunny. Highs near 87 degrees. I hope, I pray that it will stay with us all the way through the weekend time. Sunrise this morning was at 6:29. Sunset tonight at 6:31 in Asia. There it is. News and weather together here on The Point.
Half a day. This is Jade Uggan from Security Title, and in celebration of Tomorrow Month, here is a tip on dealing with your land. You might be thinking of giving part of your property to your child or another family member. Once you have subdivided the property and recorded the map, you will also need to record the deed transferring the title. Just drawing the map is not enough to make sure they actually own the land. Protehi I Tanonmu. When it comes to your family land, call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
It's 8:16 on the Ray Gibson Show. Portions brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence, even in Asia, with a local home. Also being brought to you by the guys over at Subway, 10, 11, whatever. They're club sandwiches, basically, and they're all really, really good. Lots of stuff in it. I like the number 10 because it has bacon in it. That's there it is. It's meat candy. Then they put it on exactly the right kind of bread. It's the right kind of thick, and it goes inside. And I call out what I need on the back end of it, light lettuce, and then all four of the things that they keep in the containers, closer to the cash register. So that you can order it by name, order it by number, all over the Mariana Islands and in Asia. It's the Subway, because I know it's just not here because I saw it on ESPN. So the Subway series waiting on you today at Subway.
The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. Morning talk that matters.
time, 8:17 on the Ray Gibson Show. Lots to get to in this hour. We got friends from the Public Defender's Office coming in just a little bit. Cousin Troy on the line. Eric wants to talk about bush cutters. But first, I got to go into this because I think it's one of my favorite subjects that comes out of GCC every once in a while. Boot camps on steroids, and another construction boot camp is starting up soon. With details, my pal Denise Mendiola. Half a day.
Good morning.
How the girls?
They are well, thank you.
Tell them Uncle Ray said hello.
I will.
All right, groovy. So what do we got? What do we got going on at this boot camp? It's not the first one, but I kind of am enamored of these things because you throw these guys and girls into these boot camps, and literally on graduation day, they're met by employers.
Yes, sir. So I think we'll start with, we've done about 35 boot camps so far, and we put about 500 plus people through these programs. So we've been able to at least have 500 people that we've been able to affect change with, right? So this construction boot camp is number 4 of the construction industry boot camps that we've been putting up. This one's going to be starting on May 15, and our employer partner and sponsor is Black Construction.
Nice. Good crew.
Yeah, very good. We're really happy. Mr. Ka'ai is such a supportive partner, and because he is also local, right? Growing up in Hawaii and grew up through the ranks in the construction industry. So he is, definitely one of the biggest supporters for local workforce.
Well, now Leonard's the boss, but the real boss over at Black is a guy named Dean, and Dean will take these kids and whip them into shape. That'll happen. I'm very excited. Now, is it already filled up? Have we done with enrollment?
No, not at all. We're actively looking for people to participate. We can take up to 20. And the way that this one is designed is, once they get in, because they're going to get interviewed. So the ones that qualify get in, they go through the training program. They're going to get in some college credit courses. And they'll also be given some PPEs and supplies and all of that good stuff. And then at the end, they get hired immediately by Black.
All you got to do is get yourself a passing grade and show a desire to show up for some work, and they're going to take care of it. And once this is my understanding of the Black company, having been part of some of their celebrations. The great thing about Black is this is a family. For no other way to say this, they've got generations of employees, fathers working with their sons. They've got people that have been there forever. And the bosses aren't the kind to soak up all the limelight. When there's awards on a national and international level, they're very generous with the airplane rides and getting people into tuxedos to accept those awards. There's a few pictures that I've got of some great friends that have had the opportunity to do that. So if you want to start in a great business at a great business, then sign up. How do we do that?
Yes, sir. I mean, that's really it. So they just need to either call us at the fastest, 735-5640. They can email us at workforce@guamcc.edu. And those are probably the best ways to find us and get your application in.
That's it. Got to get a replacement for Samoa Joe. We're never actually going to be able to replace him, but we'll need
I
one.
don't think so.
We'll need one to at least try for the honors and the accolades. All right, that's incredible, Denise. I wish I had more time. If you got a couple other big things that are coming up that we might be able to use as an excuse for in studio, by all means, come get me.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Not a problem. I'll see you pretty soon. 8:21 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Hold on, Troy. I wanted to get Eric on the line talking about bush cutters. Good morning, Eric. This is Ray.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, I was just concerned. Like, is there any reasons why they bush cut like early in the morning during rush hour?
Depends on what you refer to as early in the morning, Eric. I've seen people out there doing bush cutting at night.
No. I'm talking about on the Marine Drive.
No, I'm with you. So here's what I think is going on. Surprisingly, it's not happening on the weekend. What I suspect is there's night differential. The earlier you can get out there, because you're working before 8 o'clock in the morning, you might be earning a few more dollars.
But could they do that on the weekend?
No, then it's weekend differential. Yeah, same thing.
Hey, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's 7:30 in the morning. It's rush hour. Everyone wants to go to work, and you can't get there on time because it's too much traffic.
And somebody is slowing things down with their bush cutting. I'll put my top guys on that. Eric, you have a fantastic day, and I'm glad that you're able to get on the air and talk about it. That's what I suspect is going on. I remember one day, Cousin Troy had probably seen this as well. They do, in fact, they do this across the street over at DPW. Every once in a while, you get to driving around here, and you see a bunch of guys, and they're just headlights on, and the headlights are guys that are bush cutting 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And the only reason I can think they've got to have to do that, maybe they're peace work guys and got to get in as much as they can, but maybe getting some in early in the morning because it is night differential. And if you do it on the weekend, then it's weekend. And I think maybe there's even a weekend night differential. So if you're working in the dark on projects like that one, then maybe you get some extra dough. What do you think, cuz?
No, it's because it takes them several hours to do it, and so the earlier in the morning they do it, the less hot it is by the time they're done.
It's bush cutting, bud. It's bush cutting. And there are some places where I don't know that we need to do a whole lot of bush cutting. I prefer that we take care of the trim that way. But literally, if you want to make the grass look good, cut it with a lawnmower. I'm a lawnmower guy. I think the bush cutters do a lousy job of it because number one, you can't stay. It's not a consistent cut from 1 inch to the next, and number two, you're actually tearing the leaf as opposed to cutting the leaf, and that's why it takes a while for a bush cut yard to turn the right color. You know what I mean?
You ever see someone who's high on meth bush cutting? Oh man, it turns brown right away.
Do we have video?
You're like, I'm gonna need this short part.
Can you send me a video? Cousin Troy online from Candid is here. And, I forgot yesterday that there was another Candid story that came out. And it reminds me of when the Academy of Our Lady of Guam was having that issue with some kind of online bullying that was going on and threats that were made from one class and all the steps that they went to take, including not telling anybody what was going on until it appeared on Candid. I feel the same way with this Guam Memorial Hospital data breach or whatever it is they're referring to it. It hit the wires the other night when Cousin Troy posted on Candid some material that was leaked to him in the media that suggested that there was a data breach. I did not hear the entire thing, but I'm told if I'd stuck around all the way to the end, I would have heard some very, very, very agitated voices.
Yeah, so you heard nurses in that town hall meeting talking about what this network shutdown has caused, and one of them says, we had patients in the something. I think it's an ER, maybe he's a critical care. I can't remember.
Okay.
Who needed blood products, and we couldn't get them the blood products because we couldn't identify them because they didn't have the armbands. And when I went to go to this is what the nurses say, when I went to go to the lab to get the blood product, they told me they couldn't release it without them knowing who this blood product was for. And then, just so something as simple as the printer working to print those armbands, and you can imagine everything else that relies on the network and their internal communication system that caused patient care to be jeopardized. And, the question I haven't even asked yet is, has anyone died or been hurt over at the hospital, directly related to or even indirectly related to this network breach?
That would be an interesting question. Tough, but maybe even tough to answer because we can't tell you. The system was down.
The other thing that's concerning is in the release, they say that no patient records have been compromised and they said some other type of record. I can't remember what it was, but they shouldn't say that no financial records have been compromised.
The question that I had, and I don't know, I'm assuming that some of this will out eventually when there is an oversight hearing. No less than Joanne Brown is quoted and expressing her concerns over what happened with the data breach at Guam Memorial Hospital and questions that apparently still remain unanswered. So I would not surprise me if a oversight hearing was called over at the legislature. The question that I had, though, is I know I saw a release that went out sometime in the last 2 years since we've got a ton of ARP money. Did not Guam Memorial Hospital finally get the $30 or so million that they needed to buy a brand new patient record system?
No, that's the money that Speaker Sharice Chalahi has been asking since 2019 or 2020, asking the governor, like, why haven't you released this money to GMH? And whenever we've asked Lillian Paris Posadas, did you get the money? She said, no, we haven't gotten that money yet. And so,
but is that the 10 or 11 million dollars that the legislature voted on to send to Guam Memorial Hospital for whatever repairs to the ceiling, destruction of Z-wing, or the Tom Shea Memorial Birthing Clinic?
I believe it was the electrical panel and the patient health record system.
So they have not yet gotten the money.
They have not. I mean, last time I checked was maybe like a month and a half, 2 months ago. So as of that time, they never received that appropriation. They never received the allotment from that appropriation.
But I'm confused here for a second. So I'm remembering an appropriation, but was there not also a press release that came out from Crystal Paco San Agustin that said that monies had been set aside from ARP funds directly from the governor's kitty to Guam Memorial Hospital?
Oh, I don't know. I don't pay attention a lot.
Understand, and I'm sure that there might have been something else that was going on, but it seemed to me, like, I remember when Benita Manzanita was working there, and with what's his name going, we've identified what we need, we know who the vendor is, we know what our short-term and our long-term needs for procurement, installation, and maintenance, etc. We know what the nut is going to be. We just need the money, and it occurs to me that we have plenty of money that we could have put lever during the course of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, Benita, you want to talk about someone who deserves credit for any sort of financial improvement over at GMH. Benita is the person who chiefly was responsible for the increase in hospital revenue over there when she got TEFRA rebasing. Everyone, including Governor Alvo, thought that wasn't going to happen. It happened. It went into effect, I think, in the first year of the Leon Guerrero administration or the second year. And you saw that increase in Medicaid, Medicare funding or reimbursements to GMH, which caused the revenues to go up. They assigned that credit to that private company that they hired to collect, or whatever you want to call that revenue management systems, or whatever, that's since been revoked by the hospital administrator. But truly, the reason that revenues was because of Benita Manglonia's work.
I don't disagree, and I was disappointed with the lack of any kind of kudos that came out of Adelup. Guam Memorial Hospital adopts MedSphere's CareView EHR platform. This is May 11th of 2020. So apparently they are using a new system. Did we buy the security module?
Someone sent in our story. Someone sent a link to the Norton antivirus thing.
I don't use Norton. I forget which one I do use, but it's a bill that I pay religiously every month.
McAfee?
Not McAfee either. I don't know. It's the Kaminsky. I don't know. It's the one from Russia. I'm just playing it. I'm looking to see if they want to see if there's a little bit more on all of this. The affordability of CareView, the subscription service we'll use to pay for it, and the comprehensive functionality that supports qualifying for every dollar of federal reimbursement are what ultimately made the difference, said Lillian Paris Posadas. With COVID-19 now on our radar for the foreseeable future, we appreciate the CareView functionality and will enable us to provide patients with the best possible care when it's not being hacked in. I threw that last part in. We'll watch and see how the rest of all of this gets to go. 8:31 in the morning. And just for clarity here, wanted to make sure, are you going to be running the Governor's State of the Island address tomorrow?
Yes, but I don't know whether I'm going to do the play-by-play because tomorrow's Wednesday, right? So every Wednesday the Archdiocese has this talk thing where a priest teaches us dumber Catholics about part of our. So I'm going to go to that. It starts at 7 over at Agania. So what time's the governor's thing? Is it 6 or something?
I don't know. It's in the paper. But wherever it is. So you don't need to do the play-by-play. We already decided we're not going to do that. But can you just stream it? Have Eric put it on the candidate stream on the social media and make it so that viewers can comment?
Yeah, we'll have that. And if it starts at 6, which it probably will, I'll gladly do the play-by-play.
Well, I don't know. You know, it might start at 6, but you know how it's going to be. It's all the boring stuff, the singing of the anthems in the NFSC and all of the pomp and circumstance. It is an evening of royalty and elite. And the linguini.
Don't forget the linguini, Ray.
I hated those things.
I hated those things, too. It's like, why is it? Can we just play a recording? Can we just like do it the way they do it the way they do like basketball games and volleyball games for the kids? We have the shortest possible anthems. It is like one stanza from each of them, and then it's play ball. Why do we got to go through the whole thing? You know why? Because you know what? Everybody's going to get dressed up. We're going to see just how much of Will Parkinson we can put in a tux.
We should have a State of the Island address halftime show, like in the middle of the speech, just so that everybody can get through the first half. You know, like, I don't know, the John Banks show comes on.
Well, there might be a couple of other people I'd like to see on stage. 8:33 in the morning. Cuz you have a fantastic rest of the day. See what you can find out about this CareView system. And like I said, it sounds like it's some kind of a subscription service. Did they include the security, or did they just go, hey, dude, our router's got a firewall. It's good. It's all right.
Got it.
All right, 8:33 in the morning. Cousin Troy, you have a fantastic rest of the day. Be watching out for Candid and whatever coverage they are able to provide of the governor's State of the Island address. And again, the idea in my mind is they won't do it at the legislature. The Adelup feed is not going to be open to any commentary. So the closest thing you're going to get to be able to holler out the bolero or type that into the screen will come from Candid on Facebook. We'll get you details as soon as he's got them. Bottom of the hour, Donna D with her last big look at news and headlines coming up next.
KFC's Lent menu is filled with so many seafood options, it's enough to keep you going for the entire Lenten season. They're all here. Popcorn shrimp, fish fillets, shrimp and crab Killiquin wraps, and our famous KFC shrimp burger. And now you can mix and match chicken and fish in both 6 and 12-piece family meals with sides and biscuits. KFC's Lent menu is available for a limited time at all KFC restaurants and for delivery at kfcguam.com or WhatsApp 300-3278. KFC, it's finger-licking good for Lent.
Guam Regional Medical City was awarded Advanced Primary Stroke Center certification from the Joint Commission. What does this mean? It means our neuroscience team is equipped with the latest technology and a team of the finest neurological doctors to treat stroke, which is one of the leading causes of death on Guam. GRMC, reflecting our commitment to providing safe and quality patient care. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu or to make an appointment, call 671-633-GRMC.
Oh, this is not the one where the guy talks. Okay, every once in a while, this will play, and then I'll start talking, and the guy will cover me up and go, yeah, Ray Gibson Joe. 8:35 in the morning. We got a lot of stuff ahead of us here. Phone calls welcome, 888-825-588-TALK. Did you say Dr. Wen is on the line?
I did.
As in Dr. Howell?
I believe so.
He's my backup doctor. When I can't get a hold of Vince, then I get Dr. Howell. And you went on the line. Buenos Din, Havade, welcome to the program.
Yeah, Ray. Hi. Just kind of listen to you regarding GMH and their electrical medical record, the electronic medical record, and on the internet and the phone call. I tell you, GMH is a good hospital and the staff there are very good, but this whole problem is an administrative problem, and it really is I've been here since 1995, and this is probably the most dangerous time for GMH and the patient care at this point. When your electronic medical record are down with no internet, no phone, the whole hospital is in danger. And I think the part here, the biggest part, is the administration failure to communicate with the clinical team. And, that's the biggest danger on this place. And I tell you, I would replace the management team. And that's the part where people can understand communication with the administration and the clinical team are so important on patient care. When the whole clinical team are left in the dark for more than a day or two, you are playing with people's life. And just like in our clinic, if the EMR down, the whole clinic stands still. You can't access the patient chart. You can't do anything. So I'm not quite sure why the administration doesn't talk to the clinical team to prepare them ahead of time before you shut the whole system down.
Is there operating understanding? Is there a playbook that says if this goes down, then do this? Is there a backup? Is there a method that they've got that they can continue to provide safe, adequate patient care in the event of a network failure?
No, I'm not been in the hospital for a long time, so I'm not doing admission anymore.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you that there's no backup plan at all. If it is, then we communicate with the clinical team already. The first town hall meeting is a week after the incident happened, and to me, and that whole entire time is very dangerous for patient care. Like I say, it's not question on the competency, the clinical staff. They are very good, and I tell the nursing staff and everyone is very good. And I cannot speak enough for them, but this is where the administration at the top, the leadership, really fell the whole hospital and the people of Guam.
I would suggest, and not like I'm trying to instigate anything, but I suggest that there be round tables that take place between the GMS and the GMA. Certainly, those two organizations should have a say on current policies that are taking place at Guam Memorial Hospital and what the future operating plan needs to be should something like this happen again. It's not clear from anything that I've read or heard that they've tried to mitigate it so that the possibility of something like this going on is eliminated.
Yeah, only way is they accept that the help and the consultation, the opinion from GMA and GMS, but unfortunately, I don't think that GMH will accept that at this point, the leadership. And again, in the past, where you still have no handwritten record, many years ago, I came here in 95, and at that time, we don't have any electronic medical record. We're all handwritten. Yes, we're a backup plan, but since the EMR came in like many years ago, the backup plan for handwritten is put aside. And that's the dangerous part, is that once the EMR is down, there's no backup plan on the handwritten manual part. And you have to draw blood from the ICU and run down to the lab and wait for someone to write back. And you can't even read someone's handwriting, on the number and everything. And it's put a lot of room for error.
That's why we put everything into these electronic systems. I'm delighted to hear that they've got a new one, but if it's not functioning because it's been hacked, and then the other part of this is, of course, what happened to the data. I think there needs to be some forensic work going backwards to find out if they, in fact, they did have some data issues. 20 away from the top of the hour. I wish I had more time with you. Maybe I'll see you at the clinic if I'm feeling poorly. Dr. Han Yen, I appreciate your time.
You're welcome, Ray. Have a good day.
I will.
Bye-bye.
And you have a good day as well. Very, very active. I've seen him out there on the streets doing his, whatever, the constitutionals and trying to be as healthy as possible. That's what I need here. I need healthy doctors to take care of us when we get sick. In 20 minutes, it'll be 9 o'clock in the morning. Public defenders coming into the studio. Donna D with her last big look at news and headlines. Right about now, Donna, what happened?
ARP funding is down to $239.6 million, or about 41% of the total amount. Governor Lulian Guerrero has until 2024 to allocate all ARP funds and until 2026 to spend them on COVID-19 pandemic recovery programs and activities. But $160 million has already been reserved for the governor's plan for a new hospital. Also remaining untouched is the $9 million that the governor set aside to help start a universal trash collection. And the Guam EPA is celebrating its 50th anniversary and is inviting local businesses to the Educate While We Regulate Forum coming up at the end of the month. The Construction and Industry Forum will highlight GEPA programs and projects and will help to educate companies in the areas of compliance and enforcement. The event is free, but participants must register by 5 o'clock next Friday evening, March 24, to secure a seat through eventbrite.com. The forum is set for 9 to 4 on Wednesday, March 29 at the Hyatt. And the Guam Brewery set up a new shop serving locally brewed craft beer in the newly renovated Micronesia Mall Payless. They had their grand opening event on Sunday evening. Head brewer Andrew Brunson says the new location can serve as a place for people to try out a particular type of their selection of crafted beers before they make a purchase. He adds that the mall location has 6 taps and the Tumon location has 12. And that was your last look at local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
All right, guys, it's 8:42 in the morning. That should have been the top story. But I'm glad that you brought up another story. The governor says $9 million set aside to take care of universal trash collection. Yeah. Okay, with 5 barely running trash gizmos. We'll get that started right after we fix the Agana pool. It's 8:42 in the morning. Coming up, Stephen Hattori and Peter Santos from the Public Defender's Office. Stick around, Brown.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that upcoming Christmas vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,600 by calling Family Finance at their new Hagåtña location, the old Nanbo Insurance Building, at 475-4545, Upper Tumon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Take Care recently moved to its new location at the Century Plaza in Tamuning. Take Care customer service, administration, claims, membership accounting services, FHP Home Health and Hospice, and FHP Vision Center are all now located at the top floor of the Century Plaza in Tamuning. If you need any assistance, please call customer service at 671-647-3526. Email customer service at takecareasia.com or visit takecareasia.com. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
Just in time for Lent. It's our delicious BK Big Fish Sandwich. 100% white Alaskan pollock, breaded with crispy panko, topped with sweet tartar sauce, tangy pickles on top of a warm toasted brioche bun. Also available, our Impossible Whopper, 100% Whopper, 0% beef. Enjoy your Lenten season with French fries or our new mozzarella sticks with a refreshing brewed, sweet, or unsweetened tea. We are ready to serve you this Lenten season. Now available at BK Hagåtña, Tuban Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Have an amazing day. You rule.
Rediscover talk radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
In the morning, Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. A lot of conversation going on, floating around with the Public Defender's Office, and I think it's an interesting kind of how do I want to say this? We got all kinds of conversation coming out of the prosecution office over at the Attorney General's office, and then we've got the public defenders. I'm not going to say that they are at odds with each other. I think both outfits are sincerely looking for opportunities for justice in the world, and but there's naturally some conflict that is built into all of that. So there's been a whole lot of back and forth and conversations and news stories with a number of names, including Peter Santos, who is in the studio with us. Hold on a second. I gotta go to this layout here on the screen. Do I have everybody's picture up there? All right, groovy. So from top to bottom, let me see. I see that's Steve Hattori, who is at the top of the screen that we've got up on Facebook Live and the YouTube Live and whatever. And then we've got Zach Timinglu in the middle. Good to see you there. And wait a second, that's Real Joe, but it should actually be, there he is, Peter Santos. Now I'm not going to do that all the way through the interview,
right?
But I gotta set it up, bro.
At least once, right?
We went through the whole process, and all the different names that you've got on the show, on the shows, including Repeat in the afternoon with Tall Tales. God, a million questions in my head, and I might get around to what it is that you guys wanted to talk about. But in the meantime, my recollection about the last time I spent any time with the Public Defender's Office with Steve Hattori, in fact, was when people were starting to get, correct me if I'm wrong, quarantined. I thought unnecessarily.
That's correct. So we are the Public Defender Service Corporation. We do mainly criminal work, but we also do some civil work. And so we were, when they started quarantining all the passengers, then our office kind of jumped into action and we helped some of them. I mean, really, such a small percentage of quarantine travelers that wanted to get out. But, whoever wanted to get out, we kind of helped them.
Well, for many of them, they weren't aware that there was assistance, and they weren't aware that there was a requirement that they be told that they could go before a judge and plead a case.
Yeah, that's correct. So, and we corrected that. We had a little memo go out. So every passenger got a note that,
finally,
how to contact us. So it was really rough, maybe the first week until we, after we realized we're getting a point in all of them, then we just started reaching out and having notices given to all of them.
Oh, what a strange and bizarre time. And knowing what we know now, how unnecessary a 14-day quarantine, even a 5 or 7 day quarantine was for all of the difference that it was going to make. COVID came; it was already here. Quarantining, healthy people seemed to be a stretch in my mind.
Yeah, and you know what's surprising is I would say 97% of the passengers really didn't mind. They saw it as a way
there's
of
still the ones,
their family.
Yeah, still the ones wearing masks in the car by themselves. At any rate, well, I'm glad that you are here. I'm glad that you were here for that, and I'm glad that you're here now. Public Defender's Office, as I said, there will always be friction points. People get arrested, and you're not guilty until you're proven guilty in a court of law or whatever. And there are ways that we use words in the public in the lawyer business, as it were, to be able to put that doubt in there and cast that reasonable doubt. And it seems to me that's among the things certainly Peter Santos has showed his proficiency in lately.
Yeah, last week we had an acquittal. Sometimes during a fight, the loser is not always the victim.
I hear.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we had an acquittal last week, a guy that shot his son in self-defense. But I was able to show the jury that it was in self-defense.
Gotcha.
And that's why we're here, is because it's the 60th anniversary of the case of Gideon versus Wainwright. And that's the U.S. Supreme Court case where the U.S. mandated, or the Supreme Court mandated, that the government provide a free lawyer to anyone who's been charged with a serious crime.
Ooh, free lawyer. So you guys don't get anything for the time at the Public Defender's Office? How's that?
Well, no, it's a lawyer at government expense. So previously, before Gideon, really only, especially in Florida, you were only entitled to an attorney if you were charged with a capital offense, which is death penalty, right? So 99.9% of the cases are non-death penalty. So only the wealthy could actually afford attorneys, actually went to trial with an attorney. If you couldn't hire an attorney and you were indigent, you're
going to jail.
Yeah, exactly. You represent yourself. And you know what happened in Gideon, Zach? Do you remember?
What's the particles of the case?
No, I think the guy was arrested. I think nonviolent burglary, attempting to do a theft, and of course he did ask for an attorney, and it was his understanding that he was guaranteed one under the Constitution, and the judge said, "No, I'm sorry, Florida law is clear. I can only do it in capital offense cases." So he took the trial, and he took it to trial himself, and did as best as he could for a layperson to do a jury trial. And of course he lost, and then he filed some paperwork, a writ of habeas corpus. I think Pete can translate that for us, but it's basically bring me to court, look at the justice or injustice that was done previously, and you decide if I should be free to go or
how did that trigger SCOTUS?
Oh, that was great. So, when you do these writs of habeas corpus, it goes to the regular court level, then it goes up the chain of appeals. And so whenever you're dealing with constitutional questions, those are questions for the Supreme Court. So they did bring it up, and I think Pete has a story about what they were farming for.
Yeah.
Well, anyone who studies the Supreme Court and watches the Supreme Court knows that they shop for cases.
Yeah, they don't take everything.
They take less than 5% of cases that are presented to them. And so a lot of cases that the Supreme Court has tackled with actually stem from the military. And in this case, the military had been providing lawyers for their service members whenever they were charged for decades before Gideon.
Okay.
Right? It started actually during World War II. So maybe a couple of decades, right, in the 40s. And so what happened was they were just looking for the perfect case, and it presented itself. So they took it up, and they decided, yes, if it's a serious charge. So anything above a misdemeanor, they have to be appointed an attorney.
Were there opportunities to try to clarify the distinction between what a state law might be and what happens when there is a conflict between state law, i.e. is non-capital case, versus what the Constitution actually says?
Right. There's supremacy. The Constitution is supreme over everything.
Yeah.
Right. And so they
14th Amendment.
Yeah. You cannot. you can add to, but you cannot take away.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what and then, again, for those who study the Supreme Court and watch the Supreme Court, sometimes they just, whatever they feel like, they just drew a line. All right. Misdemeanor's the line, because they could have said for everything, right? But they didn't. There has to be a balance.
Did at the time, just one question before you jump back in here. At the time, did we have the same Miranda reading that we've got now?
No.
Okay, because
Miranda was after Gideon.
Okay, so now did one come from the other after the Gideon case? Did they decide, well, we better have a recitation for all the police officers to conduct when we have an arrest?
No. So what happened was the police, right? It's a swinging pendulum when it comes to police powers versus civil rights.
Yeah.
Right. And so at that point, the police were sort of overstepping their bounds. And so when they do things like this, and when they do things like Fourth Amendment cases, they're pushing back. So the pendulum is swinging back and forth between civil rights versus police powers. And so they were going a little too far, and so the Supreme Court spanked their hand again and said, you have to do Miranda now.
Right. Every case.
Yes.
We're not going to trial. You have the right to remain silent, whether you can or not. That's usually the question. A few minutes away from the top of the hour. And just FYI, we did have a guest that were going to be coming in just after 9 o'clock, but they canceled on me because they were nurses, and I think the nurses were uncomfortable being around Joe and I. So we moved that conversation to later. So we've got plenty of time to explore what it is that we're going to be talking about as we make our way through the 60th anniversary of this Gideon case and what it means for the Public Defender's Office and the I want to be gentle, so I'm not going to say thugs, but what do we, about some of the folks that get arrested and might not have the capability of seeing to their legal needs?
Yeah, and so that's the practical effect of Gideon. Gideon represented himself. He got a 5-year sentence, appealed it, and you know what happened after he got an attorney? He was acquitted after a 1-hour jury deliberation. And so, Pete just got an acquittal. Zach gets acquittals all the time. I mean, so there are many innocent people charged with crimes, and so our office really weeds those out and takes the ones that need to go to trial. And, people in Guam really do accept responsibility for their wrong actions, and most of them are resolved through plea agreements. So it's not like we represent a bunch of thugs. Every client that we have is someone's father, mother, brother, sister, husband, or wife, right? I haven't actually met a client in my over 24 years of experience that didn't have someone out there who didn't love them.
I'm sure that everybody's got a degree of love. Yeah. But
I'm not excusing any criminal activity, but there's a lot of trauma.
I just don't want to. I think we need to have a stronger stance on people that have been in and out and through the system and are clearly recidivists and clearly taking you guys and the judges and the criminal justice system for a ride. They figured out what the game is and they play it.
And we're trying to work on that. We're being more holistic. I think because of our relationship with our clients, we can help them walk the straight and narrow after they're convicted. So, we've started helping them with housing. We started helping them with basically applying for benefits.
Or just an ID, a proper ID. Yeah, exactly. I get magistrate reports that come along and say we have no driver's license, no identification.
Because they get taken from them. And do you know how hard it is to get a Guam ID? I mean, it's just, go try to do it. It's really difficult.
I've had a Guam ID since I was about 12 years old. My old man got it for me, and I've kept it in a very special place because I know how difficult it is. My daughter just had to go through the process recently during COVID of getting her passport renewed, and what a veil of tears that was. I mean, and it's no fun doing it anyway. So I get what you're saying. There are some folks that are having a hard time working within the system and may have been accused of things in the past for which there might be some kind of defense that is available to them, but they don't know how the system works, which is why you got you guys.
Absolutely.
Ray, real quick, to your point, I think you're speaking to the sense that maybe this service is enabling a certain small group of people to reoffend over and over.
You heard that in my voice?
Yes.
Okay.
But to that point, going back to the case last week, I know you know who Jordan Peterson is. Right, he's the psychologist and the book writer that speaks to young men. That says, "Grow up." Right.
Yeah.
I quoted Jordan Peterson in my closing last week, and I guess it resonated with the jury. And so the guy who was supposedly the victim was actually this horrible kid that was acting out, and attacked his father. And so his father shot him in self-defense. And so I was able to show the jury, and I used Jordan Peterson.
So in cases along those lines here, and you were talking, Steve, about being able to put these people in kind of wraparound programs where they might be able to get the housing assistance they need, employment assistance, educational assistance, financial assistance, one way or the other, so that they might not roll back into the criminal justice system, whether it's deserved or not.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. Sometimes we set people up for failure when we impose restrictions on them after they serve their time. So, for example, tomorrow there's going to be a bill called the SNAP ban bill.
Well, Will Parkinson's bill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so what, the war on drugs started back in the 80s, right? So they passed a law saying, like, if you're a convicted felon for drugs, you're not going to be eligible for SNAP or TANF. And so what ended up happening.
So we made it impossible for them to get a job, number one, and number two, we make it so that the one lifeline that they've got, they can't take advantage of.
Yeah, and so the bill tomorrow is going to hopefully lift that. It's really embarrassing. Guam's a really great place, but there are only 2 jurisdictions in the country that still have this ban in place, us and South Carolina. So we just, as long as we beat South Carolina, I think we'll be in good shape. So we're hoping people show up, testify in support of that bill tomorrow, because I think, we also participate in the homeless count. We found out that, there are many with convictions that, disqualified them from, food insecurity is such a big issue, right? Can you imagine you just come out of jail, you don't have an ID, you don't have food stamps, and so how are you going to feed yourself, right? How are you going to house yourself?
You can't ask for money on the sidewalk.
You can't panhandle anymore.
Oh, well, I know that you guys are kind of big in this as well. I might save the question about the differences in thought between people that are living in these homeless encampments and their needs and their desires and their wills versus the needs of the community not to have homeless encampments near their favorite shopping malls and tourist attractions and sites and things like that. I might save that for the next hour. Can I get you guys to stick around?
Oh, sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
Okay, good. 'Cause I know they brought food, so I might nosh on some of that between now and then. Closing in on 9 o'clock in the morning. I just worry that, as we think about some of these penalties that have been applied in the past, if we remove those, does that become now incentive for them? Hopefully the penalties would become some kind of disincentive to people to commit crimes that might have them reduce the access to benefits. Real quick response?
Well, that's the old school way of thinking, but the studies show that if you actually limit people's access to SNAP and TANF, then recidivism goes up.
The opportunity for much higher.
I mean,
Public Defender Stephen Attore in the studio, Zach Timinglu, and Peter Santos. We'll return on the other side of Fox News Live. We'll find out what's happening around the nation and the world, what's going to trigger me for the next 6 minutes, and then we'll get back to this conversation. So stick around. Questions and answers, get them at Facebook Live and YouTube Live. I'm watching both.
To ease fears, I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Biden says he's taking action after 2 big bank failures over the past several days.
I'm going to ask Congress and the banking regulators to strengthen the rules for banks to make it less likely this kind of bank failure would happen again, and to protect American jobs and small businesses.
The FDIC has taken over Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank after they couldn't pay depositors. The president promised the depositors will get their money. This afternoon, the president met with the leaders of Australia and the United Kingdom, solidifying a defense partnership.
At Naval Base Point Loma in San Diego, the president charted the path forward in the AUKUS partnership's first project to provide nuclear submarines to the Australians. He wanted to be clear.
Nuclear power, not nuclear armed.
Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese noted the rarity of this.
The second time in history that the United States has shared its nuclear propulsion technology.
That British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak says aims at a high goal.
Keeping our oceans free, open, and prosperous.
The construction of the first sub will begin this decade. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Rain and snow already slamming the Atlantic states and New England as forecasters say a nor'easter is on the way. New York Governor Kathy Hochul with some advice.
There's no reason in the world to have plans to be out tomorrow. Today is the day you get ready.
The storm could last into Wednesday. Forecasters say the storm could bring 1 to 2 feet of snow in some higher elevations. The 95th Academy Awards, which aired yesterday on ABC, was viewed by an estimated 18.7 million people. That's according to preliminary numbers released by the network. That's up 12% from last year's show, but still low compared with past ratings. America is listening to Fox News.
Every company needs money to grow and take on the challenges 2023 will bring.
That's why Bank Pacific's commercial loan officers stand ready to help you.
We offer several programs tailored to assist companies to get to the next step or perhaps for a startup,
including working with SBA or GITA. Bank Pacific.
We want to be your partner.
Equal opportunity lender. Member FDIC.
Credit conditions apply.
Half a day. This is Jade Uggan from Security Title. And in celebration of Tomorrow Month, here is a tip on dealing with your land. You might be thinking of giving part of your property to your child or another family member. Once you have subdivided the property and recorded the map, you will also need to record the deed transferring the title. Just drawing the map is not enough to make sure they actually own the land. Protehi I Tanonmu. When it comes to your family land, call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
Fairfax County, Virginia public schools are again under fire, this time over a question on a test.
The controversial question asked students in an AP government course to choose a, quote, accurate comparison of liberals versus conservatives. Then the choices are a bunch of stereotypical identities based on race, gender, sexuality, and age, such as young white males, middle-aged urban lesbian, Catholic Midwestern middle-aged male, and West Coast Hispanic teacher. In a statement to Fox News, the school system says, quote, Fairfax County Public Schools accepts that an AP government test question designed to assess 12th graders' understanding of American political ideology did not meet the division's high expectations.
Fox's Mike Emanuel. A New Hampshire man has been accused of putting 3 gunpowder-filled pipe bombs under his neighbor's porch. Police in Laconia say they were called to the woman's home on Sunday, where she showed a video of her neighbor putting something under her porch and gave them the package wrapped in tape. An officer opened the package, found a pipe with a fuse attached. The 53-year-old man faces 3 felony charges of possessing an explosive device. Federal health officials have expanded the recommendations for who should be getting screened for hepatitis B infection.
The CDC saying everyone over the age of 18 should be screened for hepatitis B at least once in their life. The CDC estimates between 580,000 to 2.4 million people are living with hep B infections in the United States, and that 2/3 of them may be unaware of their infection. Hepatitis B is spread through bodily fluid, and not all newly infected people have symptoms. Others might experience fatigue, poor appetite, stomach pain, and a yellowing of the skin or the eyes known as jaundice. The CDC says for most people, hepatitis B is a short-term illness, but for others, it can become a chronic long-term infection that can lead to issues like liver disease or liver cancer.
Fox's Gianna Gelosi. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
It's March Madness month on GTA. That means big discounts and awesome giveaways. Come into GTA today and get the all-new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra with a 200-megapixel camera and advanced nighttography. Your selfies will look amazing day or night. Purchase a Samsung Galaxy S23 series smartphone and get on our best unlimited plan for as low as $65 a month. Plus get a free $200 Payless gift card when you open a new line. Terms and conditions apply. Offer good while supplies last. Smartphone month at GTA. We start with you.
Just in time for Lent. It's our delicious BK Big Fish Sandwich. 100% white Alaskan pollock, breaded with crispy panko, topped with sweet tartar sauce, tangy pickles on top of a warm toasted brioche bun. Also available, our Impossible Whopper, 100% Whopper, 0% beef. Enjoy your Lenten season with French fries or our new mozzarella sticks with a refreshing brewed, sweet, or unsweetened tea. We are ready to serve you this Lenten season. Now available at BK Hagåtña, Tubon Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Have an amazing day. You rule.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years, we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
6 after 9 o'clock in the morning, Ray Gibson Show brought to you by APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
I'm sorry, I won't be able to take that telephone call. Got business, got work to be done here in the studio. The public defenders are here, and kind of an auspicious occasion, if you will. It's kind of the 60th anniversary of a Supreme Court case that paved the way for the development, if you will, of the public defender's office, so that when a criminal was arrested and didn't have any of the means to be able to defend himself in court, an attorney would be appointed to defend you in this case. You all know the Miranda Act. You've seen the things, and maybe some of the things that you've seen as well. Is the cases where, okay, got a guy and he was arrested and he didn't have any money to do anything, and he got himself a public defender and didn't like the public defender, and so what happens in cases like that, Steve? What do you do when you got somebody that says, oh, I've worked with this guy before, that's why I did 5 years. I want somebody else.
So that doesn't really happen very often. And when it does, some other attorney...
Well, put the microphone closer to you so everybody
attorney
can.
in the office will handle it.
Well, I was going to say, do you have enough of them? Because I read recently where my buddy Jay Ariola, Pica's Best, by the way, said we just don't have enough jurists to do this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So what happened is when we have a conflict, then it goes to Pete's office, the alternate public defender. And if they have a conflict, then it goes to the private attorney panel, which is basically... two attorneys right now, right? And
they just go one to the other.
And if they have conflicts, then it goes to the private panel. So there's many private attorneys now who are getting criminal cases, and they've never really handled them. I think Bob Kliske was appointed in a criminal case.
I don't think there's anything that Bob Kliske has not done in law in the many years that he's been a part of this community. 8 after 9 o'clock in the morning, Zach Timing in the studio. We were just talking about his father's role in the Guam Police Department. As it turns out, it overlapped with my dad's as when he was a member of the police force. I bring that up for no particular reason, but I did want to bring Zach into the conversation because everybody at the office is calling in to wish you a happy birthday.
Oh, a happy birthday, man.
Viva cumpleaños from everybody at the public defender's office. Wasn't it nice to have that remembered, though, isn't it?
No, they were mentioning it, and
yeah. Well, it's been done, and it's on the air. So how long have you been with the public defenders?
I've been there about 7 years now, and it's been a great pleasure.
Is that long enough to be considered a lifer like Steve?
I think so. Yeah, I think I've really kind of made my home there, and it's really good for me.
And I don't want to, get in the middle of payroll questions and things like that. But I mean, could you make more money elsewhere? Could you give Jay Ariola a run for his money as Pica's best divorce attorney?
The Ariola firm was actually my first lawyer gig.
Oh, be darned.
And they're great people.
Yes.
I really respect them and admired them. And they're so good to me.
You got to work with Pappy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So at the public defender's office.
Yes. It's a good home for me.
All right. I mean, but, a lawyer has many different hats that you get to wear, lots of different kinds of lawyering that you do.
Sure. For a while, I was a mock trial coach, for high school.
Oh, wow.
Just sharing some knowledge.
You and Leslie?
Leslie was a little bit before me, and obviously much, much better than me. Only one of us went to the Nationals.
But I was going to say, here's the other reason why everybody is kind of family around here is because everybody's got the same DNA of the mock trial coaches, and have all been through that process together, but separately. So you've always got something to talk about. You've always got Mrs. Sanchez from over at the school, who's also worked through the mock trial thing.
Yeah. I mean,
with many of her students?
I think pretty much all of us have done mock trial, right? I mean, Pete,
not on Guam.
But
in the States, yes.
Steve did.
Yeah, I've coached Simon Sanchez for maybe 10 years. We went to the Nationals twice.
Oh, excuse
me. In fact, we got three of our alumni are lawyers now. Carlo Dizon, who went to public high school kid that graduated from Yale. Went to London School of Economics and graduated from Stanford Law. And he's a public school kid from kindergarten through high school.
All the way.
Then Tessa Bora, who was one of our mock trial students.
Tessa May.
Yeah, exactly. She just, hopefully she'll pass the bar, but she's working at our office as well.
One of Leslie's...
Wait a second. She's a niece of B.J. Cruz. Doesn't she get it automatically?
No.
But you
She
still
had
got to
to
take the
complete-
test. Was that's June or July?
Well, she just took it in February, so we're hoping she'll pass.
Yeah, results
gotcha.
aren't out yet.
Okay, gotcha. So the question, I suppose, answers itself. There are people that are interested in law here on Guam. There are people that want to be a part of the process, whether it's criminal law or whatever. We've got JDs how do we get them more involved in what you do?
We just really don't have enough JDs. I mean, every firm on Guam is actually looking for attorneys. And so, like, I've directed our front office to stop transferring calls from private attorneys who are trying to poach Zach. So Zach probably should get more offers, but our front's been told not to.
Right. I'm sorry, he's not here. He's in the field.
I gave him a list of private firms, and if
he can't block my WhatsApp, though.
Yeah.
So, but do we need to? Can we use the 60th anniversary of this to spur more interest in what happens, and for kids to get to go out there and make the educational and the financial obligation that is entailed when you decide that you want to be a lawyer?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we're basically public servants, just like the AGs. We both want to make Guam better, right? We just come at it from different perspectives.
Yeah.
So there's, we work with students. We take interns all the time. So if you're a college kid interested, come. We could be an intern at our office or APD and, give you a leg up in the law school process. We know that UH Law now has an online degree program, so you can live on Guam and get your law degree here. It takes 4 years.
Is it reciprocal?
Oh,
do we? Can we sign up for local rates in Hawaii?
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
trying
don't
to figure out.
I don't think they do.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but
I know they're part of Wiki, so there might be.
I'll check my lawyer.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth it. I mean, 4 years seems like a long time when you're like 20, but when you hit 30, 4 years is really not that long.
No, I don't disagree. I'd like to see more folks in there. Is there a magic number? Do you look at it and say, okay, Guam has 155,000 people living on it. It should have X number of JDs?
Well, I don't know if there's studies on that, but you could always tell when a jurisdiction is short attorneys because we haven't even started suing each other yet. There's no medical malpractice litigation. There's no lawyer malpractice litigation. So anytime you have too many lawyers is when you see lawyers suing each other.
Right. Just pulling the crab down from the top of the pot.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's more that you wanted to talk about in terms of how we're going to be memorializing and celebrating the anniversary here and the role that the Public Defender's Office takes. I don't have that paper in front of me, so you're going to have to tell me what else it is in the conversation.
Well, so like March 18th is really the 60th anniversary date itself, and the governor will issue a proclamation we have a proclamation ceremony on Friday at 9 a.m. That'll be on Zoom, so we'll hopefully get the link and send that out. And really, we just wanted to plug our office. I mean, we have like a really great office, the Public Defender Service Corporation, an alternate public defender. We were created in 1975, and we've had over 100 attorneys on Guam working at our office. I mean, we've have like one of our former alumni, Dean Pregerson, is a senior district court judge in California. We've have like Jeff Cook, Randy Cunliffe. They were both deputy directors at our office. I mean, just to pretty much like we have just so many alumni that are now in private practice.
I didn't know there was a time that Jeff or Randy were not in private practice. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, they actually
Jeff
started.
was even a prosecutor at one point.
I'm sure. Wow, I had no idea. The closest thing I got is that Jeff has handled both of my divorces, and he said if I get a third, then I get a volume discount.
Right.
Yeah,
and a coffee.
He's also said stop saying that because it's not true.
But the significance of Gideon is if Gideon case didn't happen, we wouldn't exist.
Well, and I imagine that there'd be a whole lot of people that were left to rot in jail based on the assumption that they were guilty one way or the other. 9:16 in the morning. I'm glad that we got all that out of the way because I did want to get to this question. I know that there are people in this room now and folks that have been a part of the conversation, though not necessarily in where I thought they would be in the conversation about these homeless encampments that we have on Guam. One of them was, I'm not going to use the word raided because I don't think that is an appropriate word for it, but certainly the Attorney General's office, police department, the mayor's, the lieutenant governor's office, Adelup, has expressed a concern and wanted to help these people get to all of the services that they need so that they can rejoin society one way or the other. I know, Steve, that you weren't wild about that. Samantha Taitano over at the Homeless Coalition has made her feelings known, but now, we've got you guys on the radio. What is the problem with going into these homeless encampments and taking these folks and saying, you need help and we're here to do it?
Yeah, so, our office, we're members of the Guam Homeless Coalition, and so we do participate in the homeless count every year, and we also,
do we have the numbers on that? Not to interrupt, but
I don't have them yet. I know they're coming out soon. They're being finalized.
Okay.
But so the coalition's been helping these people. Many have visited those campsites, and the services are being provided. And
so what's the difference between what you were doing and what Doug did?
Well, basically, they're sheltering in place until they can get the assistance they needed. So when we did the homeless count, we went around, asked for private information, what services they needed. We drew maps to where their encampments are. And now that this has happened, they've probably all left their encampments, and we'll have to go track them down somewhere else. The main thing that, as a lawyer, if we had an ACLU on Guam, this thing would have been shut down from the beginning. Guam doesn't have any anti-camping ordinances. There's no law prohibiting people from sleeping on the beach. Otherwise, all those tourists in Tumon would get cited, right? Because you can't discriminate against a homeless person sleeping because he has nowhere else to put his head to sleep, and a tourist sleeping on the beach
because they got drunk
over a top. Exactly. So, that's one of the things that we have to look at. But at the end of the day, if people are getting services, then that's a really good thing. So I think, really, whether it's planned or not or well thought out, Doug really pushed the issue, and so I'm hoping the governor, now that they activate the National Guard to develop this homeless housing project in Antigua. Maybe, part of that was because of the pressure that the Attorney General's placing. But, whatever your motives are, at least the end result is that people are getting services, and that to us is important.
Well, let me say something else that might trigger the ACLU and DNA in you. Is it possible that many of these people, because of mental health issues, substance abuse issues, might be incapable of seeing after themselves and might need to be put in front of people and maybe in place somewhere? I don't want to do the asylum word because everybody freaks out and says, "Oh my God, the asylums, the cases of abuse, et cetera, et cetera." But is there a benign move that we can make here that will get these people the help that they need in front of Teresa Areola over at I'm not going to stumble over the words. It used to be mental health and people in the substance abuse arena where they might be able to go and get themselves de-iced, if you will. Peter,
can I?
Both
take
of you
this
can.
one. So just yesterday, I was dealing with a case with the baby Alexa law here on Guam. All right. Which is a very contentious issue. If you remember, there was a woman that assaulted a little baby, and they found out that she was mentally ill. Mm-hmm. And so there was legislation that followed that targeted or addressed people with mental health issues. And, there's a system for the government to come in and, I don't want to say forcibly, but, to use authority, government authority, to go in when people are deemed a danger to themselves or others, to force them to take services.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the issue. But the problem is that something has to happen first. There has to be a bad incident first, right? Like the incident with the guy that beat up the girl at the bus stop.
Yes.
Right? There has to be an incident first for that to be triggered. We can't just go around and say, hey, you don't look stable, we're going to take you in and we're going to put you at Guam Behavioral. At those points, it has to be voluntary from the patient, right? But, to get to your question, is there was anything the government can do? There is a statute in the books, but the statute has to be triggered.
And I imagine that might have to be adjudicated. And I imagine that the public defenders might get involved in defending somebody.
This is a recurring issue at our office where we have been appointed to cases. A person is accused of doing X, Y, and Z. And then we know from practice or from evaluations done during the course of the case that they're suffering some very real mental health issues. So one of the things is the baby Alexa law has been on the books for about 8-9 years now, roughly. And there have been no petitions filed about it, none. And so all of these folks who are accused of these crimes, they're not at Guam Behavioral, they're at DOC.
And which is the opposite of what I would like to see.
And might I add, it's the AG's office that must file. They're the only ones authorized to file the baby Alexa petitions, and there have been zero.
If we want to be hyper technical, it's actually the director of Guam Behavioral who has to petition it. But the director, not being an attorney usually, would of course farm out that work to the AG's office. But there have been none.
And if they weren't stuck at the Department of Corrections, where would they go?
There's also there's what we try to ask for is the AIU, Adult Inpatient Unit. I believe that's what it's called.
We have one.
We do, and it's very limited. You know, the bed space is very limited, and so I think more in the mental health side of treating people and getting them stabilized would be.
But if you guys have listened to the program at any, for over the years here, you also know that I'm an advocate for a all new and improved Department of Corrections. I think we've have been messing around with this for far too long. It's overcrowded. It is dilapidated. I think to the point where I think you guys. This is one of the reasons why you fight so hard for your clients, because you don't want them going into a situation that is more dangerous than life on the streets.
No, absolutely. I mean, really, we're just. I'm surprised they're not in receivership, and at some point they probably could get in receivership. I mean, I saw some video of our clients basically sleeping on floors, like concrete floors. My understanding, just requirements to have mattresses and everything, but due to the recent overcrowding, I don't know if a bed exists for every inmate. I think right now.
Well, I think in the old Jim Miles days, it didn't want them in there anymore because the inmates would burn them.
Oh yeah. No, I mean honestly, our inmate population has been well behaved throughout the pandemic. They did not have visitation for 2 years. Can you imagine having 2 years of not seeing a loved one? I mean, yes, they're in jail to be punished, but they're eventually going to get released, and we have to maintain those connections.
That's interesting you said that, because the place name is Department of Corrections.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So to what degree, I mean, just between us boys here, to what degree do you think that we are doing a good job of correcting individual behavior under the current system?
Yeah, well, that always, that's the first.
That's subject to opinion. Subject to opinion. Ray, can I go back real quick to your question to Steve about what's different between what the Homeless Coalition had been doing to what Doug did? So there's two things that come to mind. One is, the Homeless Coalition respects people's rights, right? Where Doug really doesn't. And the other one,
again, subject to opinion,
right? Well, Steve alluded to it. If there was an ACLU on Guam, that wouldn't have happened. And Doug's just
the ACLU has no credibility with me after letting so many people swing during the COVID times and basically allowing the authoritarian governments.
But the other thing is Doug is audacious, right? If anything, we can agree on that. He's audacious. He pushes the limit. He pushes the boundaries, and so that's the difference. And I think that's why he got his posse together, and he's just going to push and push and push, notwithstanding people's rights.
You're saying that like it's a bad thing,
right? No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Wait, hold on. I got two other lawyers here. That's
the difference.
What rights, in particular, did Doug Moylan step on by reaching into this part of the community and talking to the people that were there? And so
it's private land, and they have permission from the landowners.
Yes,
and so. There is
who
really
has permission from the landowners?
According to the homeless folks that were staying there, that they've talked to the Eclevea family and they've been given permission by the Eclevea family. Whether that's true or not, okay. But let's,
like the guy that said, I'm just watching the truck because I'm worried that something bad will happen to it.
Yeah. Well, notwithstanding that, right? So whether that's true or not, let's presuppose that is. What authority does the government have to go in and remove people camping just because they don't like the way they live?
Anybody?
Well, there was a threat to remove people. If they didn't comply voluntarily, they would have been arrested. That was the threat. And that's totally disrespecting people's individual rights.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of beach cleanups and stuff. Yeah. I've never seen SWAT there.
Yeah, those drug detector dogs, I don't even think they found anything.
Well,
there was this assumption that they're all drug using or they're dealing out of these encampments. But I've been a public defender for over 20 years. I haven't met a homeless drug dealer yet. So I don't think it's really there. I mean, there are people.
Well, there's certainly, I imagine that there might have been possession there. There may certainly have been possession of an unregistered firearm to somebody who was not eligible to even receive one. He was just picked up the other day over at Kmart, Brian Martinez.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. Was he in the encampment?
He was in the encampment. He was one. He was among those. He was among the three that said, "Yeah, I'll listen to the lecture here. I'll go where you want me to go." And I think they put him on a bus and took him up to the flea market so that he could get access to everything that he needed. The guy had a snap card when they picked him up. I mean, this is all the stuff where we can get together and go, "Oh, all right, this will be a fun case in the courts when you got somebody, one of the as Peter Santos would say, one of the remaining members of the prosecution division at the Attorney General's office and somebody from the Public Defender's office, because I'm sure he's knocking on that door. I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying. So this is a fun. You guys need to come back more often.
Oh no!
I mean, we hear from Peter all the time, but I mean, Stevens, I'd ask if it was you. I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah, no, it's been a while.
He's a busy man.
That's all right. So outside of the ribbon cutting, I want to get back to the rest of this. Outside of the ribbon cutting, you guys going to be doing anything else? Facebook pages, face painting for kids? I don't know.
No, I mean,
5K.
We're so really bad at celebrating ourselves because we're too busy. So we said, 60th anniversary. Once in 60 years, let's do it.
You got to do something.
And I think our staff really needs to be applauded for all the hard work that they've done throughout the pandemic. I mean, we really only shut down when we were like level 1 or whatever. I forget what the level was.
The initial lockdown, yeah.
But we were, we've been helping people, reunite families, get out of jail on bail, and then resolve cases throughout the pandemic. I mean, Guam really, in the criminal justice system, handled the pandemic far better than almost any other jurisdiction in the country, where they're still now dealing with backlogs. But because we had a really responsive judiciary, we were conducting. I mean, I think all of us had trials during the pandemic, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we were doing the social distancing trials, and
they opened new courtrooms to accommodate the space requirements.
Yep.
And that's why we're really in a better position than most other jurisdictions.
We did well. Justice continued to be served. I think I continue to be alarmed, though, at the number of magistrate reports that we see, and how many of them, unfortunately, involved the possession of a Schedule II substance. And virtually all of the magistrate reports, whether they mention it or not, have if not directly, kind of an anecdotal side to with the crystal methamphetamine. What do you guys think that we ought to do about it? It just seems to me that your workloads would be a whole lot easier to manage if we weren't having such a bad meth problem here.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem is meth. I mean, we're treating like drug courts treat people caught with a pipe, right? But the problems with real drug problems are the ones getting charged with burglary, property crimes.
Your family that you don't want to see around because he's always doped up on ice. So don't you take it?
Yeah, and I think that's a great idea. And there have been a lot of success stories of people who battled ice and who've been able to stay clean and
unicorns, bro.
I don't think they're total unicorns. I think it happens more than people realize.
Yep.
But a lot of them, they don't want to be publicized. But we do have some heroes in recovery out there. So
I got a couple. They don't live here anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, Guam's a tough place. Getting out of that environment really is the real first step. And
how many people, they try to get out of it, but there's other users in the house or in the encampment, if you want to take it back to that.
I think more on the lines of prevention. So I have suggested to some of the new senators, similar to the fentanyl bill, to make it a penalty to anyone, not just dealers, right? And we're playing whack-a-mole with the dealers. When the feds take them out, there's 3 more that sprout up, right? But anyone who introduces a drug for the first time, or not a drug, but methamphetamine specifically, anyone who introduces methamphetamine to someone else for the first time.
Special allegation.
Anyone who gives someone methamphetamine when they know they're in a active recovery program.
Special allegation. Yeah.
I talked to Senator Fisher and Senator Barnett about this, and Senator Santa Claus about this.
Kane Dwayne.
Yeah. So we'll see if it comes out. But I'm more of a prevention mind. Remember, I started out in law enforcement. I was a prosecutor. And so I still have that in my DNA. I'm more of a prevention guy. I believe in rehabilitation and recovery, but prevention an ounce of prevention is more than 10 pounds of cure.
9:32 in the morning. We should take a break and wrap things up, but I've got one last thought in my head because it's like that. I got lawyers in the studio, and and they're public defenders, which is opposite of the prosecution department and the attorney general's office. So one of the other things that Eric the Eagle and Doug Moreland have taken on is trying to eliminate the lousy visuals of panhandlers at the intersections. Obviously, it's against the law. They're not following the current law and the statutes on when it's allowed, who is allowed to panhandle, under what circumstances, and who you've got to notify. So we know we've got a pretty good basis for which to say they should not be there doing what they do. I'd like to take it a step further, the same way that you would like special allegations on people that are distributing methamphetamine or having somebody take it for the first time, or somebody trying to get themselves out from under it. Yeah, special allegation on that. Can we make it so that, because I don't know that we'll ever really get rid of the panhandlers. We got to do something about the people that are giving them money on the scene. How do you feel about putting a special allegation and a special citation that the police department can write tickets for if they see you hand somebody a dollar bill, slowing traffic and inviting somebody off the sidewalk or the median to join the traffic to get the money? Can we do something like that?
It would be effective, but I don't know.
Let's criminalize medical fundraisers too. While we're at it, let's criminalize medical fundraisers. What we don't want to do is criminalize poverty. So a lot of people are not well off. A lot of people are not hurting anyone, and just standing there and say, if you want to donate, cool. The same energy that happens right now with, let's get rid of the panhandlers. Well, let's see that when the Boy Scouts are out there, or when the firefighters are with their boots, asking for the boot drive.
They're totally different.
No, and quite frankly,
I've seen firefighters stop traffic.
Yeah. Well, so have I, but everybody knew it was happening, and they were wearing the vests and their firefighting outfits
quite
that
frankly,
scream, hey, look out for me.
That's the least obtrusive way you can to panhandle. If you don't like it, just keep your windows rolled up and drive by. I've never had my windows banged on or someone jump in front of my car demanding money. And, panhandling's an issue not just on Guam, but like San Francisco.
They're not doing it yet.
Hawaii.
They're not doing it yet. And it's not anecdotal. It happened to me.
And
there was a lady over in front of Cars Plus, and I was pulling up to the intersection. She literally got in front of my car and said, "Hey." And look, you got to make eye contact to say, get the hell out from in front of the car. I think if there's a lack of attention that's paid on it and a lack of enforcement of the laws, we're just asking for it to get worse. We're asking for it to get to urban city levels.
So how do you get someone who's homeless, who is begging for money to pay the $200, $500 fine? What's going to happen is, so someone was recently arrested for panhandling. They were booked and released. We don't know if they're going to get charged yet. But so what would happen is they'll get the $500 fine. They can't pay the $500 fine. They'll get arrested because they can't pay it. They're going to serve $10 a day to pay off the $500 fine. It's 50 days in jail. That's
$120 per day to keep that person in jail.
Yeah, at least, right? And
they'll have to panhandle to pay the fine. Yeah. Just like some people that are convicted of theft, they go and steal more.
Which is why that I think that we need to cut off the access to the cash that we give them. If it's the Boy Scouts, and I don't remember the Boy Scouts having a whole lot of roadside fundraisers. Certainly the fire department has done boot drives in the past, for which the law supports, and I don't know why we'd necessarily need to change that. But
although it's protected speech, panhandling and those boot drives by firefighters, they're entitled to equal protection, and so panhandlers can use the same exception
then
that the firefighters
and get the paperwork and go and make the notice and put the codes out just like everybody else.
That's the real constitutional issue. Are those requirements 4x4 pickup truck in their retirement? But if Guam were to waive its sovereign immunity, the ACLU would come in here and provide some additional protection that unfortunately
ACLU is busy trying to help people kill babies around here. But having said that, you mentioned free speech, and I'm a little bit fuzzy. I shouldn't be on the First Amendment, but what free speech from the panhandlers is being violated if I remove them?
It's any kind. It's actually commercial speech. Anytime you're requesting some sort of monetary assistance, there's been Supreme Court rulings on that issue. That it is actually protected financial or commercial speech. So you need it falls under strict scrutiny or commercial speech. So you need it falls under strict scrutiny. You need for very valid reasons, like really the hard. I mean, it's really the hardest level of constitutional scrutiny to overcome. But because of the safety issues, I think you can do it. I think
an argument could be made.
Yeah,
one way or
some
the
jurisdictions do it. They have like you can't use a medium that's narrower than 6 feet. I think that's been upheld. But
I don't think you should be able to use the medians at all.
Well,
that's not what they're there for.
There are court rulings out there that say if there's an intersection with a protected median, that you can't really prohibit speech within that area. But it's a case by case. You have to just litigate each one.
No, it's okay. Doug's got people can do that, right?
I think so.
Dude, this is a fun conversation. You guys got to come back around. Don't wait until the next 60th anniversary of the case to swing by. And I'm going to assume that you appreciate the time here. That the real Joe will be able to get telephone numbers and find you guys for when I've got other questions about what's Doug doing that's triggering Peter this week, and other issues because otherwise I'm going to come in from the same side as Doug is, and hard on crime, until I get an opportunity to bring the other side of the conversation in and spur the kind of thinking that is going on online right now. I think there's a lot of people that are going, but hey, wait. Oh, that's a good point. So reserve the right to talk to you guys again. Happy birthday, Zach.
Thank you.
I'm glad that we got a chance to spend some time in here. And Peter Santos. Always a pleasure talking to you on the phone, reading your comments on the Facebook Live, but it's even better when I get you in the studio.
Cool.
So don't be a stranger. 20 away from the top of the hour. Real Joe says we got to take a break, so let's do that.
The new Subway series includes one of the most craveable sandwiches of them all, the Subway Club.
Number 12, the Turkey Cali Club is the best with avocado, turkey, and bacon.
The best should come with bacon, turkey, and ham. That's my number 10, the All-American Club.
Number 11, the Subway Club is a proven classic that comes with ham too, plus turkey and Angus roast beef.
I see. Let's start over. Let's talk cheese in the Subway series.
I'm still gonna win this. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challen, San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
After a long wait, the biggest, juiciest, most flavorful chicken makes its return. The Circle K 3-pound rotisserie chicken is back. Get 3 whole pounds of perfectly seasoned chicken for all your family feasts. And for a limited time, pick up a rotisserie chicken and a Pepsi Family 2-liter soda, the perfect dinner combo, for only $19.95. Available at select Circle K stores. Swing by and take yours home today. Circle K, take it easy.
Half a day. This is Jade Uggan from Security Title. And in celebration of Tomorrow Month, here is a tip on dealing with your land. You might be thinking of giving part of your property to your child or another family member. Once you have subdivided the property and recorded the map, you will also need to record the deed transferring the title. Just drawing the map is not enough to make sure they actually own the land. Protehi I Tanonmu. When it comes to your family land, call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
So 9:41 in the morning. I'm just looking over some of the names here. I feel seen, Joe.
Yeah?
Yeah. Somebody said that. I'd mentioned her dog grooming business, and she says, "Oh my God, Ray Gibson mentioned me on the radio. I feel seen." I feel seen. Kat Phillips Uggan online.
Hey, morning, Kat.
Yeah. Our favorite teacher, and then she became an attorney.
Yeah.
And so she's online. Got a bunch of other people checking in. Let me see. Jose Martinez. Jose's got some very, very interesting things that he's added to the conversation. Woody Pengelly online. We were talking about maybe getting a law degree online from Hawaii. He says there is no reciprocity, and you must take the exam here. But I don't know whether where are you, Woody? Are you?
Do they have like a 1-year program?
Are you in Hawaii or there? But hey, for some people, I like online learning.
Lawyer boot camp.
Lawyer
1 weekend
101.
and you're ready.
9:42. Well, that was another topic that came up, and I can't remember whether it came up while we were talking about it before we signed on or not. There are places where a judge's job is done by a guy The requirement, sole requirement was, did you graduate high school? Do you know your numbers? Do you know your letters? And there are places where they're just so far out of the criminal justice system and generally have not a whole lot of need going on for that kind of thing that, you just take a bunch of people and say, yeah, Joe's pretty good. He's got some comma. He's got the sense that God gave horses. So can he do that? 9:42 in the morning, Ray Gibson Show.
That could be a judge and also the fire chief of the town.
Exactly. RFD, Mayberry RFD. You would be Deputy Barney Fife.
Thank you.
Is there a bullet in the gun today? I actually knew cops that for the most part had gone through the process and were bona fide police officers, but because of the nature of the work that they were doing at the police department, it didn't require them. I think, to carry a firearm, and if it did require them to carry a firearm, it didn't require them to have it loaded. So there was one or two cops that I knew that would walk around and wear the cheapest, lightest gun that they had, just because you've carried before. What a pain! 9:43 in the morning. Portions of the program brought to you by my friends over at Nissan Guam. I'm looking at the Nissan Guam website to see what video I'm going to be watching here. What is it that we are selling? It is the Aria online, and that is an all-electric car. And you're going, oh my God, it's an electric car. How much power is this thing going to have under the hood? You would be surprised. How about this? 389 horsepower. Now I will compare that to my Nissan Frontier, the truck. 310 horsepower under the hood. So all of a sudden, you get in this ride, 308, almost 400 horses under the hood of this Aria. It's got the power to pull the hat off your head and plenty more. Acceleration, 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. And you're going, yeah, but how many miles can I go on one charge? Up to 304 miles on a single charge. That's 3 times around the island.
All the way to Tinian, you can go.
I think you can take that all the way up to I don't know. I wouldn't put it in salt water, but right. I'm just saying. 100% electric Aria with a unique driving experience. And one of the things that they did with this ride is they didn't go cheap. They said, look, we're gonna give you an electric experience. We're going to give you the full blown electric experience. And so there's gizmos and gadgets and a super refined navigation process that they've got on it. One of my favorite things is it's got multiple cameras. I don't know where they are, but let's say that you are, who's got the smallest parking spaces on Guam? Doucet or Outrigger?
Yeah.
Who's got the smallest? Yeah. The one where your passenger has to get out first. That kind of thing. So sometimes it's hard to navigate into those things. And so what they got on these Nissan cars, they got 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras, and it makes it look like they are shooting it from the top. So you turn the cameras on, you basically by putting the car in reverse, but you can do it forward as well, and kind of navigate with the screen. Obviously, you should look every once in a while, but it's got the systems where you can navigate. It's not just 2 lines. It'll show you a bird's eye 360-degree view. Take it for the test drive. You'll thank yourself for it at NissanGuam.com. Wait, you're turning it down too fast. I got a friend asking me a technical question, or a question of a technical nature here. Yeah. Sending me the back of a television monitor, wondering what kind of cables he needs to make this work.
Those little prong things that you screw the screw on to hold it in?
No, that's actually not very difficult to sort out. See, with the thing in the back
for the old gaming systems, the old TV.
That was It's a converter, 75 ohm to 8 or something like that. So it's got transformers on the inside that do that job, just to go from one kind of cable, one ohms to another. So it has one of those. No, it's got an F connector on the back, so it's cable ready, as they say. But once a bit, how you're going to get those old systems in? Gee, I don't know about that. But it looks like it's got input, output for left and right. And there's
No
There's
HDMI?
there's a yellow one. So you've got the ketchup and the mayonnaise and the mustard. And then there's another jack in there.
you go.
There's another jack, but I can't tell whether it's an in or out. And that's probably just a little tiny eighth-inch connector that you throw in there. It might be optical cable and more. I don't know. I'd have to be in front of it, and in order to get me in front of that, it's going to require you buy me expensive beer. 9:47 on the Ray Gibson Show. So far, I'm quite delighted that we made it. 12 minutes left between now and the end of the program. And I'm glad that we made it this far. I will, on the off chance that it happens again, let you know that there was an issue involving a piece of equipment up at the top of Channel 10 that wreaked havoc on the audio that comes from this studio here to the noggin of the transmitter up there. I believe that it is, we've got the diagnosis done, we know where the problem is, and we know what the fix is, and somebody is going to go and take care of that today. If, on the other hand, you're driving around actually listening to the radio at 93.3, 101.1, and 104.3, we'll have this problem as well if it recurs. And all of a sudden it sounds like we're doing robot or everything sounds like a remix. That's okay for music, but not for voice. What I want you to do is download the app, 93.3 streaming app. You can find it at the App Store. You can find it at Google Play. It's absolutely free. Ton of great features and ton of the opportunities in ways to use it. And sometimes I like to drive around with the app on the Apple Play in the car in the Nissan because like the phone will ring. I don't want to answer the phone in the car. So I'll just pick up the phone, but I'm interested to hear what Bob is saying. So you can actually pause live radio with the app playing in the car.
That.
Yeah, it is. Sonically, it's absolutely perfect. So, download that. If you dig the other two stations, Star 101 and Boss 104, you can hit the links on that and go to them, in those moments where, I don't know, I'm playing a commercial or doing something that you don't like, and then come back later on, like when I read like NFL scores. So download that, and we lose our primary signal, then by all means do the other. 888-8255, 888-TALK. Notice that you didn't mention what GMHA do to address the data leak, and that is ban patient visitors. Maybe a USB leak from a walk-in going after the employee payroll or hospital contractor payments. You know what? I didn't mention it. I saw the thing, and I didn't know just how relevant it was going to be to one side of the story or the other. Look, there's going to be more on that. We did have Dr. Hao Nguyen on the line earlier expressing his disappointment with the systems and pointing out really how critical and how dependent we have gotten on these electronic health record systems. I'll give you another example. While not necessarily the same, kind of an apples and orange comparison to the degree that they are related. But you've got let's say we're going to go and eat at restaurant XYZ.
Oh, yum! Right?
Restaurant XYZ takes cash, or they take credit cards. Nobody takes checks anymore. Well, really, honestly, when was the last time you actually wrote a check for something that wasn't a utility or some other kind of credit card payment? But anyway, nobody uses that anymore. But there have been times in the past where I'd go someplace and they'd be like, okay, this is cash only. I said, why? Because our electronic system is down. That's everything. That's the whole enchilada. And they go from a sophisticated state-of-the-art electronic transaction system that will get you your approval seconds. They go from there to you have to pay cash, and please don't ask for a receipt. Otherwise, I've got to write the receipt. Of course, the boss wants them to write a receipt so that they can make up for the information that's not going to go into their electronic transaction system. It's happened before. When was the last time that you heard they weren't taking credit cards over at Kmart? Did you go? And can you imagine the system? Didn't they shut down the last time that happened?
Yeah,
they actually closed because their credit card system was down, and I don't think they could or wanted to shift to a manual system. So can you imagine the degree how important it is when we're talking about a hospital, an electronics patient record system in something like the Guam Memorial Hospital? That is some tough work, and the paper backup that might have been sufficient in the old version of Guam Memorial Hospital, back when the nuns were running it, maybe that was sufficient. But here it is, 2023, and you get dependent on it. So I'd asked if they had some kind of a backup operation system, and Dr. House said, nope, they don't. Well, maybe it's time to develop one. 9:52 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Anyway, so I was saying we run into a problem, and I didn't have the kind of time I needed to prep the program today. Normally, I will come in, and there's a couple of newspapers there, a bunch of television newscast stories, and a whole lot of stuff from the emails, etc. And I go through all of those things, print them out, the interesting ones, and put them on the air. Usually takes me about an hour. I didn't have that hour today, so I'm absolutely delighted that we are all within minutes of the program ending, and I still have stuff to talk about. There's still items on my table of contents for which I'm very, very happy.
We didn't do celebrity birthdays today?
Dog.
No, right? Is there anyone important?
Yes. Oh, my God. OMG.
Oh, happy birthday, Zach.
Zach Timing from the Public Defender Office. Michael Caine is 90 years old today. Michael Caine, wasn't he the guy in the Tom Cruise? I almost said Mike Cruise movie where he was twirling. Isn't he didn't he?
Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't come to
Aruba, Jamaica.
Was that him? Okay, yeah.
I think he was also in
Cocktails.
Cocktail. I think he was in that movie. And then Michael Caine also in the first of the. Wow! If I'd have prepped today, if I'd have just had another hour before I had to solve all of the problems, Miss Congeniality.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the
Sandra
coach?
Bullock?
Yeah, he worked with Sandra Bullock, and
yeah.
he was the coach. And then he said, "I got taken down by somebody that's deaf, mute, and blind, and you just don't beat that in any of these things." Now, I'll give you another one. Give you another 90-year-old. The amazing and incredible Quincy Jones turns 90.
Nice.
About the fourth or fifth place down on my Spotify playlist is one of his old jams called I No Corrida that came out about 40 years ago. And he was an old funk master back then, probably can still do it. Billy Crystal is 75 years old. Billy Crystal, of course, played Batman.
No.
I'm kidding.
What?
Miracle Max.
He was in The Princess Bride, right?
Miracle Max in the Princess Bride.
He's only half dead.
75 years old. I don't know who this is, but I'm going to imagine she's a hot Asian chick. Grace Park from Hawaii 5-0, 49 years old. And Stephen Curry. You might know him from the NBA, turns 35 years old today. 9:54. If you're looking for something to celebrate, it's Celebrate Scientist Day. Celebrate Scientist Day. The real scientists, not the ones that bent over for Fauci. Celebrate those guys. It is International Ask a Question Day. Here's a question. How do I narrowly dodge my teeth while I'm chewing? My tongue? Now does it narrowly dodge the teeth while I'm chewing on something? And what does it mean when you start biting your tongue a little bit more? I don't know what it is. You know, I think, you know, I lost a tooth a few years ago, and I've been threatening to stick an implant in there for about the last 5 or 6 years and never got around to doing it. And what I think is happening is my teeth are moving around in my mouth, and my tongue is going, hey, that's my spot. And the tooth goes, oh, yeah? Here, crunch. And there's times I'll bite into it. Literally, I can hear the crunch sound in my mouth. So I don't know what the heck is going on there. And one other concept. Did you know that you're constantly tasting your teeth? It's Organize Your Home Office Day, Potato Chip Day, and Sister David will be upset with me for not remembering any earlier that today is Pi Day. 3.14.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. Yeah. That's how important mathematics is to the guys here that are giving your dose of morning talk radio entertainment on this radio station. Wait until the end of the program. Research shows that watching a curvaceous woman can feel like a reward in the brain of men. Yeah.
Straight to the brain.
Uh-huh. I gotta say, I cannot disagree with that notion. Because for which, and maybe that's why, things, your TikToks and your Instagrams are so habit forming, addictive, if you will, especially for guys. Because of the dopamine that you get and can get literally every second. The time it takes to move one dopamine provider and then scroll up a little bit more. Ooh, there's another one. Scroll up. Ooh, there's another one. Provider? Yeah, well, that's what they say is happening. And sometimes, for me, it's a woman in Asian woman in what do we call that? Korean hot pants or bikini or something like that. Every once in a while, though, because I don't want to say that I'm in that rut, if you will, in terms of my standards of beauty. Every once in a while, literally any woman carrying a plate of tacos or lasagna and cold beer, I get the same dopamine hit. You're just going, yeah, that's nice. And speaking of beer, are we going to rally up soon at the Payless?
Oh, they got a thing
the brewery.
there,
The brewery at
That's
Payless
right.
is open. The brewery at so the question that I have for my friends in the Payless family is, when do we get one of those at Mighty? Wouldn't that be awesome? Because it's right. I'm not next to my house, but it's near my house. No, you don't need to worry about parking. Just go in there. Just park wherever.
They need valet,
Park
dude.
at Benson. No, I'm just kidding. Don't park it. They have a parking kuya now over at Benson. At any rate, so in one of these days, I'll be able to tell my friends where we're going for dinner. I'm gonna pay less. We'll get rotisserie chicken over there, and go and get some bread from the side and camp out at the brewery. You think they'll let us do that?
They might.
Open up some Vienna sausage on some of their deli rice. What are you doing? Just somebody? Come on, have a seat. What did you want to talk about today? Closing in on 8:58 in the morning. And what did I say it was yesterday? Where we've got the two things that should be related but aren't, and there's an alarm. What did I say that was?
Oh, the congruency alarm.
Incongruency alarm.
Oh, okay.
And this morning's incongruency alarm, we can do this every day because we have a government of Guam, is the Dedado pool running perfectly, but it's still months away from reopening. You know why? Because public health. Public health says, we got to make sure that it is right with it is in compliance with the new rules and regulations that apparently require it to be able to circulate the water, all of the water in the pool, like several times a day, as opposed to like a couple of times a day. It's got to go through the bleach and go through the filters and all of that. And I just wondering out loud, if every other pool on Guam that gets inspected by public health likewise has to do the same thing, or were they grandfathered? And if they were grandfathered, why can't we grandfather this one just to open the pool again for the kids? Otherwise, imagine how much money they are spending now in chemicals and electricity. Pumps aren't cheap to keep that water circulating, yet nobody is swimming in it. Yeah, government thinking at its finest. It's 10. Here's Fox News on the point.
He declared in Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey ahead of a nor'easter.
If you are traveling, please let the state, county, and local road crews treat and plow the roads. Our highway crews especially work in formation. If you see a road crew getting into position or working, please let them have the road ahead of you unimpeded.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, the coastal storm expected to bring strong winds, heavy rain, and snow to the northeast and mid-Atlantic. Forecasters say it could linger until Wednesday. President Biden with reassurances after the failure of two big banks over the past several days. The president saying depositors will get their money. However,
investors in the banks will not be